I know last week with my guest.
You never introduced them
I did, but man, we were already, about 15 minutes into the show or so?
Yeah.
before Mom put it on.
No, she didn't. So I was like, hey, by chance, have you put it? No, not yet. You haven't introduced them.
Right.
And then I totally forgot how to introduce people. Chris, we were on such a break. I was like,
Oh,
man.
that's right. Yeah.
Remember, we took a little break, man. We went to Cancun for a little while.
It was only 1 week.
It was 1 week, I know, yeah.
That was a good break.
It was, yeah,
I'm pretty sure I had more of a break than you.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
It's
you
been
did.
a month.
It's been a month since you've helped us back here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, you're ready to roll then. But, yeah, so, real quick, Herb, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but we had some incident today. What time would you say that happened today, Sam? Probably about 10?
I think that's what he said.
So today's our trash pickup day. And they came, they picked up our trash, and all the trash cans were empty, and were the recycle as well?
No, just the
Oh, it's
trash.
just the trash. So some lady, for some reason, decides she wanted to borrow our trash can. And she came and just pulled up, threw the trash can in the back of her SUV or whatever she drives, and just took it with her.
Well, she must have needed it pretty bad.
Right? Yes.
And we're like, the heck, so my son Mario, he was home at the time, and he sent us a text. Said, yeah, somebody just stole our trash can.
So nowadays I wouldn't put it past anybody to do stuff like that, man. You
Right.
know? Hey, my raza, my Mexican people living here, and I don't know, what if it was an American person, but
Yeah.
not to be ugly, but hey,
Yeah, and so I'm at work thinking, okay, how am I going to get this trash can? So we kind of figured out she lived in the area and kind of broke it down to where we knew where she lived. And then,
And this is all luckily because the neighbor was out when this all happened.
yeah,
So she saw the car stop. She saw her pick up the trash can and she's dumbfounded, like, what's going on? Like, why? And then the lady drives by her, sees her, and waves at her.
no.
So, yeah. So she's really like, what in the world just happened? Yeah. So,
That's funny.
Yeah.
Man, and so luckily, and then later on in the day, I was getting ready to come home, and my daughter sends me a picture, and Sandy's dragging the trash can home.
they returned it empty. Was it
It,
empty?
it was empty, right?
it was, but I had to go get it.
So,
Because we knew who it was, and so I went and I waited till her recycling hadn't been picked up yet. I was like, I could go to the front door and knock and say, hey, I think you have our trash can, but I decided to wait. And so as soon as the recycle went by and hers was picked up, I saw the garage door go open. I took off out the door, ran over there real quick before she closed her door, her garage door. And I was like, I think you might have our trash can. Yeah. So it was just, so what she said was her trash can was emptied. And you know how they have the arms now? It's
Right.
no longer a person's job.
Correct.
And so anyway, I guess it picked it up, but it never brought it back down. And so she's watching and she's trying to figure it out as well. So she never got her trash can. And so she saw it go up the street. And then she saw them put down a trash can, which would have been in our area, and it happened to be in the street. So she assumed, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt, that it was her trash can. So she, we were ready for a confrontation. We were ready for her to start arguing with us, but she wasn't. She truly thought that was her trash can, and she was just picking it up. So
I was just going to ask, what was her response? So there you go.
yeah, I know, because we were ready for an argument or something like, why did you just pick up? But I'm like you, if she needed it that bad and needed it more than I did,
yeah,
Was it a good distance from here?
it was just,
few houses up.
yeah, just a
Few
few
houses
houses.
west
I
from here.
know.
That's crazy.
Wow, yeah, it really is. It really
So I
is.
can't wait till the neighbor to get home so I can tell her about it, because she was like, I just can't believe that she took it. Yeah, so
It's going to be the talk of the block.
I know,
There
right?
you go. Yeah. And then, did you get hit hard with rain today?
Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, when I was leaving, my wife asked me, are you sure you want to go, Herb? I says, honey, it's just rain.
Yeah.
And then she goes, you want a towel right there? I said, no, I'm good. And then by the time, because I had to go run an errand, and then I had to go to the bank, and sun's bright. I said,
Yes.
you know,
I know, right? Yeah.
that's how wives are. You know, want to protect you, want to take care of yourself. But it was really over there. I live off of North Oak and 88th Street up north, and
Okay.
it was started coming down pretty good. But there you go. My wife said, Herbie, you sure you want to go? I'm not missing this, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
the weather is a little crazy. Did you see Wichita?
What happened in Wichita?
Oh, like 101 mile winds
Oh,
or
I thought you were
whatever.
gonna say temperature.
Whoa,
No,
yeah.
yesterday. Like it poured, it flooded.
Wow.
Yeah, they
yesterday.
got the brunt of it yesterday. I mean, because we were supposed to get something and it didn't come.
Yeah, I didn't get. Yeah.
But it did hit Wichita.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
And the way it rained today, it was this afternoon and out in Overland Park, and it was coming down hard.
Yeah.
Of course, at that time, I decided I'm gonna go grab me a lunch. I get to the drive-through, it's pouring.
Yeah.
It's my turn to order. So I roll my window down and I try to order, and then I roll it back up, and then they say something, and I roll it back down, and I'm still talking. I'm trying, and then I'm just, arms getting wet, everything's getting wet, and I'm like, jeez, stop asking me questions. This is what I want.
Yeah.
Roll my window back up, went through the drive-through. All right, then I got to pull the money out. Here we go, and it's just pouring rain, and then I'm like yelling at the guy because he's trying to stay back from the window. I was like, man, this is crazy. I've
Yeah.
never done that. Chris, have you ever been through a drive-through when it's raining?
I try not to.
Yeah, it just started raining hard as soon as I pulled up through. I was like, man, it was crazy. But
But you got your food and everything was good.
everything was good after
Right.
that. A little wet, but it was good.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and start the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back
Hello,
to
everyone,
the
and
Big
welcome back to the Big
Modcast.
Modcast.
I'm your host, Big Mod. I got half of the crew with me. Chris is back after a month gone, taking a nice break. How was your vacation, Chris? Was it good?
Yes.
Thank you. San, welcome. Still waiting on my nephew, Jose. He's going to try to make it here. Hopefully, here shortly, he'll come in, make a visit, because he hasn't been with us for over a month, though. But he's still working. He's still working with us. Chris, before I go ahead and introduce our guest, could you play our sponsor reads, please? This podcast is sponsored by Quinn Concrete Construction. The company motto, no job too big or too small. Whatever your concrete need is, they have the experience and the professionalism to ensure a quality job every time. For a free estimate, call 913-279-1448. That's 913-279-1448 and ask for Joe Quinn.
This episode is sponsored by Goal Fire Protection. With over 26 years of fire sprinkler experience, Goal Fire Protection has built our livelihoods on established relationships and providing quality fire sprinkler systems. From retrofits, remodels, service, repairs, new installation, and inspections, simple to the extreme, we can help you every step of the way. No job is too small or too big for our knowledgeable crews. For your free estimate, call 913-441-3390 or email us at gochoa@goalfireprotection.com.
Yeah.
And we're back.
We're back. All right, thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Get situated here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guests for the evening, Mr. Herbie LaFuente.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for that intro, Mario. Appreciate that, young man.
Appreciate you being here with us, brother.
It's my pleasure. We've been talking about it, and here we go.
Yeah,
Here we are.
We're making it happen.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, but
Yes.
again, yeah. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the show. How we doing?
We're good. We're good. A little wet, but hey, didn't take long to dry off because when the sun comes
Right.
out, it's it dries you
Yeah,
up
it
pretty
can't
quick.
get-
Hey, we should enjoy this right now because I hear the heat is coming.
Yeah, well, being from Texas, Austin, Texas, I know what the heat is. And
Oh.
yeah, this is nice. Everybody says, "Is it hot over there?" No, not really. It's pretty nice. But back home, they're already having 100-degree weather and stuff. So
Is that the dry heat though, like in El Paso?
yes, it's very dry. It's not humid like it is in Houston and
Oh,
other
okay.
places like that. But Austin is definitely hot. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like you could be under a tree and in the shade and not be sweating, or I mean it's hot, but it's
Yeah, it's just the dry hot. I mean, you may sweat a little bit, but not real bad. It's
Okay.
Just, and like I said, it gets worse as the summer comes. But
Yeah.
hey, But as long as you find a place to sit around and be cool, then under this tree.
So
is
you
just
grew up there?
born and raised.
So how hot has it ever gotten there?
As a matter of fact, last year when we were home in the summer, it was 115 degrees.
Hijo de su.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even want to go outside. And that's pretty bad. When it's that hot, that's pretty bad when
Wow.
you don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
So it was pretty rough, and I've never really felt it that hot. I felt some 100-degree, but 115.
Sheesh.
That's
That's hot.
It is. It really is.
Okay.
Yes, but this is nice. This is nice here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm getting used to it. Well, like I said, I lived here before, moved back to Texas, but I'm back now. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, welcome back, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. How we going? How we doing health wise? You good?
Good. Yes, good.
Yeah.
I've had a little ups and downs, but it happens with the age, you know.
Yeah.
And, I hope to hit the 70 here pretty soon, man. So,
Oh, nice.
Con favor de Dios, God
Yeah.
willing, man. You know,
Yeah.
it'll be nice. But life is good. My wife takes care of me, take care of each other. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, without the lady, it's a whole different story, man.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
yes.
How was your Father's Day weekend?
It was good. It was good. I spent it at the ballpark. They had a nice little softball tournament.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was our park
Yes.
The Indios.
our tournament. Los Indios. We actually we were celebrating our 50th anniversary.
Yes.
As a ball
yes,
team.
Yes, and then and as a matter of fact, that was my wife and I anniversary that weekend.
Oh, okay.
44 years. So
Nice.
you know,
Happy
I tell-
anniversary.
Congrats,
I tell
yeah.
my friends just playing with us. I said, she's lucky, huh? I said, I guess I'm the lucky one. Yes.
No,
Well,
no.
you're lucky she let you be at the ballpark.
Yeah, very true. Good point. Yeah, and see, we had some friends here from Houston, and my friend, my homeboy Ray, he was a umpire, so he was one of the umpires, so that helped me go to the park and stay.
Yeah, that was-
okay.
No, that was good. Yeah, that was cool that he was here. You introduced me to him. Really
Yeah.
nice guy. And we'll get into the umpiring, but you
Okay.
said you work with them as an umpire. You guys used to
I
buddy
did.
up.
Yes, sir, I did. I did. It's been a few years because, like I said, I had my knees replaced, and that was umpiring after my playing days. But
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun. But we used to umpire a lot of games in San Antonio, Austin, and Houston. So we did some traveling together to
Yeah.
umpire, which was I really enjoyed. I mean, and
Yeah.
I love the game. So to love the game and to be able to. Since you stopped playing, it was pretty good to be able to umpire and still see a lot
Still
of
be
friends.
a part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, definitely. We're good. We'll get into that. But real quick, Herb, you said you were born and raised in
Austin,
in
Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yes, sir. Austin, September 1st, 1956.
There you go. Okay.
I got a few years in there, man.
There you go.
Thank the Lord. Yes. yes.
Brothers and sisters.
I had one brother. He passed away when he was 47.
Mm,
I have
sorry
two
to hear that.
sisters that are still alive, and they live in Kyle, Texas, and one lives in Pflugerville, Texas, Austin is the middle of both of those little towns that I just
Oh, okay.
told you. So yeah,
So-
Kyle's south of Austin, and Pflugerville is north of Austin.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so that's
Man, it's kind of wild how you hear about these little cities. I mean, you hear the big ones: Austin, Houston, Dallas,
yeah.
Fort Worth, El Paso. But then or Killeen, right? There's a Killeen, Texas.
Yes, yes.
But then these small ones, you rarely hear about them unless somebody brings it up.
Yeah, or you pass through them when you're heading to San
when
Antonio.
you're driving through.
You're correct. When you
Yeah.
drive through, like
San Antonio's the other one, yeah.
Yes, because they got New Braunfels. That's where Schlitterbahn is, and
Oh, okay.
and they got San Marcos, and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are all between Austin and San Antonio, or then Pflugerville, where I told you where my sister lives, between Austin and Dallas, or even Killeen. Austin and Killeen, there's a few little small towns that
Yeah.
around there.
I don't think we've ever been to Austin.
I don't either. I don't think I've ever been that way. San Antonio, we've done.
Yeah,
Houston.
we've done Dallas.
I played in a tournament with the Bravos
Yeah, yeah.
back, I don't know, 25 years ago. We did that. And that was fun, playing in Houston. That was my first time ever playing in Houston, Texas.
Really? You okay? What you
Yeah.
remember? What year that was?
Golly, man, no,
Sheesh.
I don't. It's
Yeah, I don't either.
been a while,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jaime and I, we went with the Bravos.
Okay, yeah.
And my primo Jaime.
Yes.
So yeah, that was pretty fun. Welcome, Jose.
Hello.
Good to see you.
I'm not
It's
on.
my nephew Jose.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey,
Jose?
How you doing?
All right.
welcome back, Jose. I appreciate you being here. Okay. So what number were you in the your brothers and sisters?
I was the third. My
The third.
oldest brother that
Okay, he was
passed
older than
away.
you.
Then I had an older sister, myself, and my younger sister.
Oh, okay.
So I was the third. I was
Oh,
the
okay.
third one, yeah.
Cool.
And like I said, we were a small little family, but we had, We have cousins and cousins and cousins.
Yeah, and all there in Austin.
Yes, all in Austin. No, and as time goes, but I don't have. I had all my tias and tios are deceased, and may they rest in peace.
Sure.
But I have all of my cousins, which are about my age and younger. So that's.
So did you guys all grow up together?
Yes, we did.
Run the streets together, do all of that. Yeah.
Yes, we did, and that's the sad thing. As we get older, you go your own way, and you see yourself, you see each other, which is sad at funerals and stuff like that. Which and the time that we get together is at funerals and stuff like that, or whether we have a family reunion. But it's just that's the sad part about growing up, because as you get older, poof, you go your certain ways, man. But yes, I have a beautiful family, and like I said, it's in Dallas and Kyle, just around the surrounding areas of Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. What was it like growing up as a kid there in Austin?
It was good. I mean, like I said, you go to school. Mom and Daddy make sure you go to school. No skipping school, because bad things happen when you do that. and like I said, I graduated in 1974. But growing up, you meet friends and get involved in little activities like baseball. Baseball. I mean, I played high school baseball and basketball. I never played football because I was a little guy. I mean, I might be a big guy now, but back in the day, no, I didn't want no part of the big boys, man. But growing up in Austin is a beautiful thing. I mean, Austin's a beautiful city. It's grown a lot, really grown a lot. So
and it's pretty wild to see, right? From where you grew up, your hood that you grew up in. And everything's just growing around.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's changed so much. As days went, as years went, they start building more and more. And I never thought I'd be able to, really see downtown with a bunch of skyscrapers and things. But it's just changed dramatically. It really has. I mean, from our house where we used to live at, we used to be able to see the Capitol. You can't see the Capitol
anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, it really has changed. And I never thought it would be that big, but yeah, Austin has really grown a lot, and the buildings are big, and just at all, wow.
Yeah.
Never thought we'd have big buildings like that, but it is. It's
That's
changed a whole
interesting.
lot. It really is.
Dang, that's pretty wild. Were you a good kid?
Yeah, I didn't like Daddy's belt.
Yeah.
So it was when I grew up, Mom and Daddy said, tell me yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and you go to somebody's house, you go to Theo's house or a friend's house, you're sitting right here, you're not running inside, just the normal, taught me morals and manners, which is a great thing, man. It's just, but I have a beautiful upbringing, and I thank my mom and dad for, raising me the way I am.
Right.
Respect my people, anybody, as a matter of fact,
Yeah, they're in your neighborhood. Was there a lot of kids?
Yeah, we used to play in the streets a lot, and when we played football, you hit the wire and you could hear it on the house, the parents inside the house. Hey, y'all go play somewhere else, because you're hitting the wire and stuff like that. Well, the park was maybe not just like 1 or 2 blocks, like a half a mile away, and the parents didn't like you walking that far, which when you're with other friends, you know what you're doing, and we know how to cross the street and stuff like that. But yeah, there was quite a few kids, which was fun, man. And you grow up, and I lost contact with them after I graduated from high school. As a matter of fact, after we moved from the house we used to live in at first, we moved maybe about a mile and a half from where I used to live, and lost all contact with them. And then time went by, graduated in 1974, and I was on my own. Mom and Daddy said, I'm almost 18 years old, let's go, you got to. So, but that's good, beautiful life, beautiful things.
I mean, and you still don't, I mean, like you said, you disconnected with a lot of them. I mean, there's got to be at least 1 or 2, that you kind of still see around?
Well,
or
as a matter of fact, being here, and even when I was moved, even when I lived back home, really never got in contact with them again, which is a sad thing, because they're good kids. When you're growing up, it's you're always together every day, every morning. Can't wait to get up and go play outside.
Right.
But now, just I lost contact with them, which is sad. But whatever they're doing, hope they're doing good things, and hope good things are happening for them.
Yeah. That's before middle school and high school. Did you play little league sports or anything like that?
Yes, I did. I started playing when I was 8 years old. Pee Wee League, Farm League. 8 and 9, and then 10 years old you get into Little League, and then 12 years old got into Pony League, and then
what sports was that?
That was baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball. Yeah, and then in high school, like I said, I played high school baseball and high school basketball, but like I said, football. But then after, I used to play satellite football with my cousins when I was in high school. We used to play for, cases of beer. There's no money involved in cases of beer, which is crazy when you're growing up.
Who's buying the beer?
Hey, we would all pitch in. Hey, Dad, I need my money for that I'm having for during the week so I can pitch in, man.
Yeah. So, but who was buying it for you guys?
Well,
or at that time, was it 18? Or?
Well, yeah, I was about 16 or 17.
Or did you have a tío or tía working at the liquor store or at the grocery store?
No, don't incriminate.
I was gonna say I shouldn't say, but yeah, man. One of my tíos was cool, man.
There you go. Yeah.
So you always have one of those.
Yeah,
man. Yes. But that was fun back in the day, man. It's just a lot of good memories. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you grow up speaking Spanish then, or?
You know what? I didn't. My mom and dad did all the time, but they always kept it away from us. But then when I was like 15 or 16, I started hanging around in the east side of Austin, where all the Mexicanos, all the raza grew up, and a lot of my homeboys that I used to play softball with, they spoke Spanish, so that's when I started.
Really? So why do you think they kept it from you? I mean, was that a thing back in the
Well, you know what?
in the 70s?
That's in school, that's all we spoke was English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you really never spoke Spanish. When you were younger. Then when I was able to associate with my friends in the east side and hang around with the guys, that's when I started catching on more and more, and that's when you learn, and whether it be good or bad, but still, But when you're growing up, Mom and Daddy always spoke English to us, and and in school I took Spanish. I took Spanish in high school, but that's a whole different other kind of Spanish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's that.
American,
Spain, that kind of Spanish.
Yeah.
Like that's
Castilian,
the first time that I ever heard the word coche as a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we grew up thinking carro.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And then going to school, it was a coche, and I was like,
whole different.
Cochino, or what? What are we talking?
Right. Well, you forgot the INO in there. You know what I mean? But
I know it was.
Yeah. Well, sometimes parents have a bad experience when they were in school and were told not to speak Spanish, and so then they don't want their kids to experience that same thing. So, I mean,
do you think maybe you just had bad words?
Well, I mean, a lot of those bad words I thought was my name.
With technology today, we can see the new words that they add to the dictionary. Nobody was informing your parents of the new Spanish word for car. You think maybe you just didn't know it?
No, there is a difference between the Spanish from Spain.
Sure, 100%. But there's got to be some stuff that they just.
They really
the first time they had to say internet in Spanish. They got to pick it up from somewhere.
Yeah.
I grew up. My mom, my dad, even my tia. I just heard her over this weekend. Almuerzo.
That was breakfast.
See, but it's really lunch.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's the word?
Desayuno. Desayuno is breakfast, correct.
Yeah, but we used to hear almuerzo. So for the longest time, I thought that was breakfast, and then later on through life, I'm hearing something else as. It was wild.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's the way I caught on. I mean, by listening to my mom and dad a little bit, but then again, when I started hanging out with my friends in the east side of Austin, and and they're all homeboys, man. So they're speaking a lot of Spanish. So I caught on a little bit. I mean, they know their English too and stuff but when we wanted to converse a little bit, and we spoke Spanish, but that's how I caught on, and so I just kept on and on and on, and it's and you like you're saying, but it was crazy. Well, first time I came to Kansas City, I came with a team called the Austin Angels, and so we were at Amigos when the Amigos was Amigos, right? It's where LaFuente is now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, we're there, and all my homeboys, the team that I played with, were there, and some of the guys that played with the Amigos, came in, and we wanted to speak Spanish, and so we started conversing with them, and they put the brakes on, and we don't mean to be rude, but.
Yeah,
no comprendo. No,
yeah.
I said, me and my buddies just look at each other and said, wow, okay. So, I mean, but that's understandable. They said they never really were spoken to over here in Spanish.
Huh.
So, but we just were amazed. I said, wow, man, Mexicanos. And, just,
it
is what
it is.
And
it's still like that now.
So, on that, I know a little bit of Spanish. It's enough to just barely get me by. But, if somebody comes and approaches me and speaks Spanish, is it weird for me to say, no hablo español?
Right, because then they're like, well, you're saying that in Spanish.
That I don't speak Spanish. Is that weird? Because that's what he said. No complaint.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
But
It's
you know
kinda weird.
what? In the reverse, they would say, no speak English.
Yeah.
And so the same thing.
Me no speak English. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
it
I,
is-
just,
yeah.
I feel weird doing
No,
it.
but you can't feel bad. You're being truthful and just
Yeah,
let them know.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying to say it in Spanish. It's kind of weird
well,
to
I
say
mean,
I
you
don't
might-
speak
you
Spanish.
might-
Does it make it better if you learn how to say, except for this little bit?
Yeah, except for this exact sentence.
So you got to learn that part.
Yeah, they might ask you, "Are you sure?" Because that
Yeah,
sounded
right?
pretty good. What you just said.
That was a pretty good accent you had on the tail there.
Exactly. Yes.
So back in the Little League, the sports, were you like one of the best athletes on the team, or
You know what,
were you in the middle, or?
You know what, Mario? You say that. I really don't ever like to talk about that. I just like to go out there.
I
and
told you
play.
we can do that on the show, man.
okay.
We could put it out
well,
there.
well, you know, I just played hard and learned the game and
Yeah.
wanted to do right and wanted to help my team win. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, like we were talking the other day, I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like doing that, man. If you wanna, if you see me play and if you talk about me, thank you. You know, whatever you say about me, but I'm not the one. Oh yeah, I was the best, and I just like to go out there and have fun and help my team, man. You know what I mean? So that's
get
just the
things
way
done.
that's the way I always approached it, and I always looked at it.
So-
Even though playing as I got older, you know, I just, man, you know, this and that, I would get compliments. Well, thank you. I'm just, you know, I play like everybody else, man. You know, I put my pants on like you do. I just go at it a certain way, man, and I just, like we talked, I want to beat you between them lines, and you want to beat me. But after the game, we're gonna go pop a top, baby.
Did you like playing offense or defense? Are you a hitter or what were you? What was
Both.
you
love-
like both?
Oh yeah, I love throwing people out if I could. You know what I mean? And take your chance, run on me. Please run on me, man. And then when it's time to bat, you could have the best pitcher. I'm gonna try my best to make contact.
You love that challenge, huh?
I do. That's what it's all about. You know.
So back in high school, did they have baseball teams in high school?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes. As a matter of fact, there was a high school, Lanier High School back in Austin. There was a guy that I played against for 3 years. He got drafted right out of high school. Man, went to play for the went to play for the Atlanta Braves. His name was Tommy Boggs. So I played him, and then Lee Tunnell pitched for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I faced some good
cool.
pitchers, man. And
Yeah.
that's a challenge when you see a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball when you're 16 to 17 years old. Say, wow, dude.
I know, yeah.
You know, that's amazing, man. Somebody throw that hard in high school, and then but to give drafted, you said, well, I got to face that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's the thing, though. When as soon as you hit high school, was it ninth grade or was it?
No, yes,
So
correct.
9, 10, 11, 12,
Yes,
right?
sir, yes.
So you're a freshman, you're an outstanding baseball player. Guess what? You're going to play some varsity. But guess what? You're going to be facing kids that are 18, some of them 19 years old.
yeah.
You know, what's freshman?
Ninth,
15?
About 15,
14,
yeah.
About 14,
14, 15?
yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And see, so my son Marcos kind of he did that. He played football. He's a big kid, and he got to play varsity. But shit, he's playing against D1 kids that are throwing him around like a doll. You know, we saw it. We saw it
Yeah.
with our own eyes getting. You know, he's a running back getting smashed by these D1 defensive ends or linebackers.
Oh yeah.
You know, that end up going to Nebraska or Oklahoma or these big schools. You
Well,
know,
that's competitiveness right
very
there.
And I know he was scared.
Oh yeah.
You know.
So you were a freshman playing varsity?
As a matter of fact, when I was a freshman, I was on the baseball team, but they didn't let me play. The school didn't let me play as a freshman back in high school.
Oh.
So that was like a rule. That
So
was
they
back
had that rule. Okay.
Yeah, that was a rule like in 1970, which when I was a freshman. But then my coach said that, man, I wish you could play, and I wanted to play, but I was a manager, so I was carrying, the trainer, the stuff, and the bat bag or the whatever, man. But I wanted to be a part of the team. I wanted to put the uniform on, but But then again, I just learned it. I had to bite my tongue for a year. And
you gotta tell me, were they wooden bats?
yes.
No,
No. They were aluminum. They were
aluminum was already-
bats. Yes, they were. They had just started, and it was so different, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were used to wooden bats in Little League and Pony League, and then all of a sudden here comes these aluminum bats, and wow, what a difference, man! And it just and they weren't as expensive as they are now.
Because they're these bats nowadays. I told you about, they're made of the same stuff your knees are made of.
Yeah, titanium and all this.
Or what's Iron Man? What's Iron Man made of? What is that? What's his suit? Isn't it? Or is it the shield? What's the
Iron Man suit is made of various metals. Most commonly is a gold titanium alloy. You're
Okay.
thinking of vibranium, which is
That's
the
what
shield.
I'm thinking about.
America.
Oh, okay. So that's just the shield, though, right? Captain America's shield.
Yes.
But then didn't Spider-Man have a suit later on
No.
that Tony Stark made him?
No,
It
Black
made him out of
Panther did.
nanotech, but it wasn't vibranium.
Okay.
Okay, let's bring that back. Why do you ask?
Well, because I know Herb had his knees replaced, and he's got. I told him, I said, "You got Iron Man's
Oh,
knees." now."
gotcha. Okay.
I was going to show him how high I could jump, but I said, no, I don't want to put my stuff out on the street. Yeah.
Man, that's
So, did you ever win any championships once you got to play?
Not in high school,
Oh,
but after high school, that's when I started playing. I played baseball, semi-pro baseball. And
Oh.
then I played men's fast pitch since 19. I started playing men's fast pitch softball in 1973 when I was 15. And then and with men, they came to ask my mom and dad, "Can Herbie go play with us? Can Herbie go play with us?"
wait, you were 15?
Yes. When playing with
yeah,
men.
and that's about. I was about 16, 17 when I started playing.
Okay, so you were playing baseball and softball at the same time?
Yes. And my dad kind of hesitated a little bit because he wanted me to focus on baseball. But these guys wanted me to, Herb can help us and this and that. Well,
Right.
Okay, I'll come out and join you guys and have a good time. And then, like I said, but that's when I started meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was playing with older guys, and so Herbie, come and play with us. Herbie, come play with us. Man, I can't do this, man, like this. He came and asked my mom and dad if I could play with us, so I'm going to stay with them. And then-
Yeah.
So, the following year, it was just a different thing. Another team coming to ask and another team coming to ask. But it just, the thought of someone coming to ask your parents, can they go play ball
I know,
with
that's
us?
pretty wild, right?
It is, yeah. And so that was pretty
It's
fun,
an honor.
man.
Yeah, that's
it,
cool.
it really is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So did you find it difficult to make the transition when it comes to pitching and seeing the ball?
Oh, yeah, because, baseball, you throw overhanded, and then, and then everybody wants to be an underhand pitcher. So
I know, right? That's what we all did.
Yeah.
Everybody's instead of you're warming up to play catch, and everybody's throwing underhanded.
Exactly. But it was a big difference. It really was. And like I said, I mean, being a ball player, and like I said, you start learning the way that everybody else plays, just coming from a different angle. But I caught on pretty well. Pretty quick. Yes.
All right, well, yeah. Let's not jump the gun because I still got some questions.
Okay.
We're gonna get into men's fast pitch. But what was your back in high school? What was your favorite class?
As a matter of fact, I like woodwork. I like
Oh,
shop.
yeah, the wood shop.
I like shop.
Yeah.
Making things and learn how to work with the machines.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Which
Just like a drill press.
and the saw that you have to put the wood and you
Yeah,
turn
the
the
tape.
wood and everything to make the curve and
Okay,
so that was
yeah.
I enjoyed that. Other than that, with the pen and the paper, there wasn't too much. that's when you used to just look over and what's the answer? So
Yeah.
but I mean, school was good. I mean, my senior year was my best year in high school. I won a few accolades in high school, and I was in the beauty review. I was nominated the King of Travis, which was in the beauty review and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
had your
cool.
prom.
Yeah.
I mean, in 1974, I was voted King of Travis, which was, man, it's a mi
It's a
Mexicano
nice-
and against
That's true.
So,
So what is the population like? It's not a lot of Hispanic people then?
yeah. But then again, our school was integrated. A lot of Mexicanos, a lot of Americans, a lot of African Americans. You know what I mean? And it was I think my senior class we had almost 450 students just in the senior class.
Oh, okay.
So just think junior, sophomore, and freshman. There was school. I think the school had about maybe 4,000. We were a 4A school back in the 70s.
Oh,
Now it's a 6A school.
is it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's changed a lot.
Okay.
but yeah, it's-
Because I guess I really have El Paso that I'm thinking of and comparing it to, and there are so many Hispanics
Oh, correct. Yes.
in El Paso. And so I guess I just kind of assume all of Texas is like that, but that's not necessarily true.
True. Very true. Yes.
Okay.
And then in 1972 they started busing students because they built other schools.
Oh,
So they wanted to fill those schools up. So they split up our school and took up maybe half of our class away, and so it became harder for you to get a winning team or something.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Because they moved some of the players, some of the athletes, to another school.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's when and then like about in 1972, so they started busing people to other schools because they were building other schools. And,
Okay.
in South Austin, which they had Travis was the last school. And then they built a school called Crockett, which really separated us. And like I said, it just having your friends, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
Taken away.
Yeah,
yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
Now, what was the mascot of you guys' high school?
Well, I was a Rebel.
The Rebel.
Rebels. Yeah, I was a William B. Travis High School Rebels. William B. Travis.
Oh, I
Rebels.
thought you said Rebels.
No,
Rebels. Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, the Rebels. Yes, the Rebels. Yeah.
That's cool. Were you ever the mascot?
No, sir. And I didn't
Not
want
once
to put
did you say, I want to try to...
No, I didn't want to put on no Confederate stuff. And give me the green, white, and red flag and tell I pull up. But I'm good. No, I'm good like that, man. But we were the Travis Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What other sports did you play in high school? You said basketball?
Basketball, yeah. Basketball.
What position? You
I was
guard?
a point guard.
Point guard.
Yeah, point guard. As a matter of fact.
The conductor.
In my high school yearbook, they have a picture of me going up for a layup, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was a captain of the basketball team as well, man.
Okay.
So I could play pretty good. And I was
Heck
like
yeah.
5'5", 5'6". I love sports. I was pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Man, like I said, but I played. I was a point guard at the high school.
That's cool. How far was your house from your high school?
Our house was probably about maybe, I gotta say about 2 miles. About 2 miles. So there was not too much walking home.
Yeah.
But I usually got a ride in the morning from my dad, and then a friend of mine would pick me up. But when I played sports, my dad would pick me up after after practice and stuff like that.
Did you ever walk to school? Was there ever a time
there was a few times, and then walk home. But like I said, it was a good little walk, And then you found your shortcuts.
Yes.
So that's always comes in handy right there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a crazy question, but did it ever snow?
You know what,
You
Mario?
remember,
Very
very-
if it would have snowed, Mario, they would have closed up shop.
Yes, yes.
Because when it sleeted, man, we were happy, man. We knew we weren't going to have to go to school, but the thing is, the sleet would melt the same day, so you'd go to school the next day.
It's kind of like that in Colorado.
Yeah, yeah.
It can snow its ass off, and then come 3, 4 o'clock, it's melted and it's gone, and everything.
Yeah.
Yep, and
So
everything's green.
So you're looking at the weather at night, and they say, "Oh, it's going to get cold. It's going to sleet," and
it's good.
And then you don't ever get up at 6 o'clock, but you're looking out the window.
Yeah.
Man, and here it is. Yeah, we're not going to school today.
Maybe you didn't have snow days, but I hear like there's a lot of dust storms. Was Austin never had that? Okay.
No, we never had
so it
really
just
dust
depends on what part of Texas
correct,
they have those
correct.
dust storms.
More up north, maybe more up northeast, like by Lubbock.
Oh,
Lubbock,
okay.
Up that
Okay.
way. That's where because they have a lot of flat land, and they have a lot of I can't say deserts because they don't have any deserts in Texas, but
right.
but it's open area. Yeah, they do have a lot of dust storms over there.
Okay.
In Lubbock, Midland, Lubbock, Odessa.
Yes.
Up that way.
Okay. Okay.
But not
with where you were. Okay.
No, correct.
Yeah. So I take it, as you got older, you used to drive to school?
Well, no. As a matter of fact, I didn't get my driver's license until I got out of high school.
Okay.
Oh.
So I was always either,
Riding with
went with
somebody.
a friend, correct. I either went with a friend or my dad would take me. But
Okay.
Daddy didn't. I don't think Daddy wanted me to have a car when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my dad was a body man, so when he worked on cars, but I always wondered, dang, Dad, are you looking for a car for me? You gonna give me, you're gonna surprise me one of these days? But nada.
Nah.
Yeah.
Hey, you have any good memories from high school?
Just really my senior year, man. That's about
like
it.
you said, that was the best year.
Yeah, that was the best year. Like I said, and being able to graduate with my class, and doing playing basketball, playing baseball, and then I fell in love with a young lady from a little town out of Austin, man. They called Maynard, Texas. And,
Okay.
And she was since I didn't play football, I used to be able to go to their games, and she was a cheerleader. So
okay.
So,
yeah.
But, yeah. So I just had that, but other than that, it was just good. Just growing up, going to school, and my mom, daddy, as a matter of fact, make sure that you go to school.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
What was? You remember your first car?
It was a 1969 Chevelle Malibu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What color was it?
It was like a turquoise color. Real nice, real nice. My dad found it pretty cheap. Didn't have very many miles, and like I said, he was a body man.
So he did the work too.
Yes. So I didn't have to worry about that. But yes, it's a 69 Chevelle Malibu.
And then you bought that?
My dad bought it.
Your
my dad bought it for me. Yeah, that was a gift to me from him. As a matter of fact, that was my first car that he ever bought me. Man.
Okay, and then whatever happened to this car?
Well, I ended up selling it, and I I had it for about 2-3 years, and then I ended up giving me a '74 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Okay.
So that's when, because I graduated,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I upgraded. Well, no, I didn't have one in school. I upgraded after that, but I got the Malibu in '74. Then I probably sold it at the end of '74, '75, and got me this Cutlass, man. So I upgraded a little bit, but I don't know if Daddy was happy about it. But hey, it was mine. Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you watch your dad? Did you ever work with him?
Yes, I did, and that's. I told him, Dad, I can't. He wanted me to sand cars all the time and compound them and everything.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, I'm not going to be able to throw the ball. He
Oh,
says,
yeah.
And then Spanish, I said, okay, Dad, I'm just saying, man. But you know what? I mean, that's one of the hardest jobs I ever done. And my dad didn't believe in machines because he said, in his terms, all I want is elbows and ass, man. Just work and do it with your arms, But my dad worked hard, and I just didn't get that from him, man. Because that's just that was his trade, man. And it was beautiful, man. He had people returning to for him to fix their cars because he had fixed them before, and he was good. But I just never got into that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And my brother, God let him rest his soul, man. He took after my dad.
Okay,
he
I was
working
gonna
on
ask you.
cars and
Okay.
man, and to tape and compound and to paint. My dad did the whole works, man.
Yeah.
My dad was a bad man.
Yeah.
Pastor Scott said.
My uncle Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, body work. He would paint our cars, and that was his job.
Yeah, there's nothing cheap or slow about that, man. That's some hard work, definitely hard work. Yes, but yeah, that wasn't my kind of that wasn't my cup of tea.
Well,
man.
I laugh because Mario has said that whenever his dad is working, he didn't stick around and watch and learn how to do any of that. He'd take off. He's like, no, I don't want to do that.
I want no part of this.
Yeah.
And now I've learned so much about cars here recently. Because working on my cars, my kids' cars. Of course, YouTube helps everybody out. I freaking worked on a lawnmower through YouTube.
Right.
And then a primo of mine helped me out as well. But yeah, I mean I kind of wish I would have started working on cars. I wish I would have did the auto mechanics in high school. But back then, you had to take your own car.
Right.
Or if you took the class, you had friends who would bring their cars for you to work on, and you learn. But at that time, I was just like, nah, man, I want to play sports, hang out.
Here's what
the girls.
Yeah, I'm glad mine's not here. Yes, true. Right? No, and you know what we're talking about doing body work and stuff like that. Could you ever find a tool that you needed and like a wrench or a socket and knew the right size that it was? Because my dad would just look at a
a nut or a bolt, and then know the head size.
He would just go like this and get it, and it would fit. I get 3 or 4 of us, and let me try all of them.
I still do that too. I open up my toolbox and I'll grab like 3 or 4 sockets, and then you try the one. Then you got to put them all back, and then that's a pain in the ass sometimes.
Really, you look at it and say, "Man, this looks pretty close. Let me get this one. Let me get this one," and then none of them fit. So you're 0 for 4, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
But your dad was good at finding the right one.
Oh my God, was he? I mean, like I said, he could just look at it one time and go to his toolbox and he'd come with one. Are you sure it's gonna fit that?
Yeah.
Just look at me like, hey,
He said, he'd throw it under catch wrench.
Exactly. Yes.
Man, well, what was your first job? Your first paying job?
My first paying job was when I was a sophomore in high school. My uncle worked at a. As a matter of fact, it was Ward's Drugstore, which became later on Eckerd's Drugstore, which is CVS now.
Oh, okay.
And he was the boss of the store. He was the supervisor, and I would just like load the shelves and stuff like that. But that was like making $1.25, $1.75, and I said, Puerto Rico, man. You know what I mean? That's big money back in the day, man. So but that was my first job. That was my first job with my uncle, and like I said, I was just thankful for him to let me work at that time, because when you wanted something, even though you got a little bit of money from your dad, man, you got to go out there and start doing what you need to do, man, to learn that, this is going to happen after you graduate. It's either you're going to the service, you're going to school, or you got to hit the job, man. A 40-hour-a-week job. That's the bottom line.
The job, don't hit the jail. You don't want to go to jail.
You got that right. You got that right. And that's why mom and dad kept me on the straight line, man. When I'm thankful, I'm thankful, gracias a Dios, man.
Heck yeah. So, what? So you're retired now, right?
Yes, I
So
retired.
what was okay? So what was the job that you finally retired from?
I was working for an engineering firm in Austin. I worked for them 15 years.
Okay.
And like I was a courier. So I used to deliver plans and
Oh,
plats.
okay.
I used to go to places to go get deeds for the engineers and stuff like that. So, I mean, I worked for an engineering company for 15 years.
Okay.
And, it was nice. 2022. I mean, we hit 2020. We had COVID.
Yeah.
And that's when I got my knees replaced because they were hurting so bad. But I was working for that job. It was great. I mean, these young people that do that, I mean, they're pretty bright and stuff. I'm not computer oriented, but when I was able to see them working, I said, I don't know what y'all are pushing, but hey, I want no part of that, man. But it's great. It was a good job. I mean, good people. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed, and we had 3 floors in the office building, which was about 26 floors, but we had 3 floors, and I went to each floor to get the work that I needed to do, but it was fun. It was fun. But it was an engineering firm.
And you did it for 15 years.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
That was there in Austin?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Man. So, let me see, 15.
And before
did you retire early or was it?
I retired at 67, but I had
67. Okay.
but I had other jobs. Like I said, because I lived here in Kansas City for 15 years, and then we moved back in 1995 back to Austin or back to Round Rock where we lived in Round Rock, and then I lived back in Austin for 30 years, and then we moved back, and then like I said, we just moved back, and then like I said, we just got the house in North Kansas City in Gladstone.
Okay, yeah.
But like I said, I worked 15, went back to Texas for 30, and we just moved back. So
Okay, but what brought you to Kansas City in the first place?
Well, my wife's from here.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, my wife's from here.
Okay.
Yeah. And she has a pretty good sized family. Her last name was Villegas.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I don't know if you know Red, Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, those are her cousins.
Okay.
That's her uncle. That's her uncle Red. And AJ and Anthony, those are her cousins.
Oh,
So
okay.
their dad, Bule, Anthony, Tony,
Yeah,
and Red, they were, and then my wife's dad they were all brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it all makes sense. Yeah.
Her dad's name was Johnny Villegas.
Okay.
They called him Johnny V. But yeah, my wife's from here,
Oh, okay.
and I've been with her 44 years. I met her in 1981.
Okay.
We came to play ball over here, man. And,
Oh, one of those softball romances.
well, I don't know if you want to get into that story.
Okay.
That's right. Well, I mean, if we can fit it in with the softball.
Softball
talk,
that
yeah.
had to be a part of softball because it was cool, man. When I came and I met her, and as a matter of fact, her uncle Red introduced me to her, and he told her, "Why don't you dance with this guy from Texas?" And she's like, no, yeah. When we started that was all over, man. I had a beautiful time. She took care of me the whole weekend, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, a long ride home I was pretty quiet, and my homeboy said, "Hey, ¿qué tienes?" I said, "Me enamoré, homeboy."
Yeah.
You know that song, "I Found Love on a Two-Way Street."
Yeah.
I found love on I-35.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's how that ended, man. But it's been beautiful, man. I enjoy Kansas City. I met a lot of great people up here, and I can't ask for anything
And
else.
so you came to Kansas City originally because you were playing softball then?
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
So
yes.
did you meet her on your first visit to Kansas City softball?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I put my Rico Suave on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get right into the men's fast pitch. Do you miss playing the game?
Man, I miss it so much, Mario. Man, it's just hard to go see a tournament and not want to be involved some way, man.
Right.
It just brings back memories, and especially the competitives now, the pitchers.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. And, we never faced anybody that crow hopped because
I
back
know,
in my
right?
day,
You had to stay on the mound, right?
You had to have both feet on the pitcher's plate, and
I know. When did all of that change?
it's I don't know.
Because
but
I
it's-
watched a guy this weekend from the Bravos. I'm like, man, he is nowhere
You know
near on that plate.
Herbie showed me something. His homeboy. He was behind the plate, and that kid that was pitching.
Yeah.
That 20-year-old kid throws hard, right? You
Yeah.
saw?
That was him right there.
Yeah.
The pitcher.
And so, and I had just left. The tournament.
Okay.
And Herbie said, "Hey, did you see what happened to my boy?" I said, "No, what happened? He got hurt." I'm like, "What happened to him?"
Oh.
He got a chunk taken out of his arm from that ball that kid was throwing.
The catcher didn't put his glove on it, and it.
Oh my
and
gosh!
it jumped, and it some way I don't know how.
You see it, Chris?
Came off. It came off. It came off the ground, and like I said, the catcher didn't even put a glove on it. They went right up and just. We were.
It's like a dog bite.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and talk about hurt. He was hurt that night. I ended up taking him to the hospital that night.
Yeah.
But he didn't have no broken bone. It's just unbelievable.
It
I've never
just-
seen like that.
it
I've
just
never
Came
seen
so
that.
fast that it just
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
a chunk out.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
And
crazy.
so, and it hit the ground. It hit
Uh-huh.
the ground and came up. Now, can you imagine if it didn't hit the ground?
And it direct
the
hit.
ground kind of slowed it down, maybe a little bit, right?
I'm with you on that.
A
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah. And,
I mean, that probably would have broke.
the good
something.
possibility, yeah, because as hard as that man was throwing really,
Yeah.
just really hard.
I think Bubba Hernandez clocked him a few times, and I never heard any.
It had to be at least in the high 80s or low 90s, and fast pitch from 46 feet, and then crow hopping, and then to release it at least by 42 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's coming pretty fast.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I do. I miss it a lot.
But I think after you saw that, you're like, okay, maybe I don't miss it that much.
Yeah, I'll just be the UIC, or I'll just you need some water. I'll go get you some water or something like that.
No, but in the back of your head, you're probably going, I could hit you. I could hit you.
Yeah.
That's always in the man's mind. So I would love to face that
Your
guy.
competitive
really.
side. You're like,
would
I
love
gotcha.
Yeah, but it really is. It's so different now, and just how they pay guys to come and play
Yeah.
for them now.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
That's
I mean, was that known in Texas?
You know what? In 1976, as a matter of fact, 1975, when I started playing with the Austin Jokers, when we went to play in a tournament at the Latin in Houston, well, the first team to ever import somebody, it was the Baytown Hawks from Baytown.
Yeah.
They brought in a gentleman by the name of Tito Florencia, which he was a.
Oh, I loved his music.
Let me hear what it was. But this man was really, really, really good back in the day, and he was the first person to ever get imported from Mexico. So but we always came with our team, just like the people from El Paso, because we used to play the El Paso Jesters. I mean, back in the day, man, and everybody else around. But when Baytown started importing people, we said, damn, they want to win a trophy that bad.
I
don't know how much they paid the man, but that's back in the 70s, man. So could you imagine, and nowadays they pay these guys crazy money.
And I think and honestly, okay, so, when I was playing in the 80s, the 90s, I stopped 2007 or whatever it was. I mean, that's, people were bringing pitchers in, and I tried to look at it as if, it makes the teams a little better, but it makes it more competitive for us that want to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't hit the ball, but it was fun to see these guys
it really
pitch.
Was. It really was, and to play, and you're going to play against the best on Sundays. You know what I mean? When you get there to the big games, and that's what it was all about. And say, okay, well, you paid somebody to come play, but you know what? We're going to be there, and I was thankful to be on the team where we were there on Sundays as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was us. And the little motto we had is we came with who we brought.
Exactly.
So it was us, man. Not nobody from Mexico, not nobody from any.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Austin. You're playing Austin, but when you play a team from another city, or you're playing Mexico, so and so, but whatever.
Right.
But we really didn't complain because you know what? That's the way it is. You got money to bring a man in. Well, more power to you.
Yeah,
So
correct. Yeah.
Let's go play, man. Like I say,
Let's go try to beat him.
Exactly. And even though we never did, but hey, second place, third place, we were there. But still, just the thought of spending money just to win a trophy, that's crazy. Yes.
I think we kind of feel a little bit the same way. At least I do in terms of the Indios, because we've always done it as a family.
Yeah.
And we're, not had to pick up anybody to beat, and so
But
it was always fun as a family, because then you get the kids involved and the nephews, and you just keep growing that way instead of bringing people in to try to win a trophy,
Yeah.
And like our pitchers were all homegrown. We had Danny and Victor and recipe. My uncle Andy back in the day pitched. My uncle Tootie pitched. And then Jaime and then Adan. These guys pitched.
Yes.
But it was kind of cool when if our pitchers were hurt or they're retired, and there's a pitcher out there who's like, hey, I want to we didn't ask him to play. He came and asked us, and we didn't have to pay him. But you remember Tony Buckley?
Yes.
I got to play second base while he got to pitch on the mound, and I didn't even have to do much.
And that guy was
good,
boy.
and it just happened to be a tournament that his team wasn't playing in, and he was in town or he was in the area, and they're like, "Yeah, come pitch with us,"
Yeah.
So
that had to feel good because having a pitcher like that on your team,
Yeah, and then even Herman.
Remember
the big guy? Yeah.
Yes.
He pitched with us in one tournament. I'm like, sweet, this is cool to nothing against my uncles or my cousins, but it's always fun playing with those guys. But you throw a pitcher back there, and sometimes I didn't need my glove.
Right, I understand. I hear where you're coming from there. You just sit back and if a ball's hit to me, I got to do what I got to do. But hey, not too many balls were hit, man. Because that guy was good too. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I told Steve Roach over the weekend. I'm like, you're playing third base. Why are you taking your glove out there? This pitcher struck out everybody he faced in one. It's crazy.
I saw him Saturday, and I asked the scorekeeper, hey, how many strikeouts does he have? He said, well, 15 up, 15 down. I said, wow, okay.
See, remember I was saying that?
So why did the defense need to be out there, man? Because he didn't even hit the ball.
What was the name of that team, the King in His Court?
Yes, they only had 4 guys.
Yeah.
The catcher, the pitcher, and the second baseman and the shortstop. I mean, the second baseman played first base, and if you were lucky to get hit off the guy, I saw them in Austin back in
Did you ever face them?
No, I never faced them. But I have a good friend that was on that softball all-star team that got to face me. He said, "Man, I thought he throws hard, and he does trick shot. I mean trick throws and everything
behind the back and between the legs.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you ever heard he struck out Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Albert Pujols. He struck out some big dog. Albert Killebrew. Yeah, he struck out some big boys, man. So to be able to face that man and for him to do that to them, I said. Yeah, I can understand everybody else striking out.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
How many years did you play?
35 years.
35.
I started playing when I was 15, and I ended up in about 2004. Early. Like I said, and then like I said, you get up in age, and I wanted to stay in it, so I took up umpiring, man. But it helps to know the game. It helps to know the game. And that helps out a lot. But I miss it. I miss playing fast pitch, especially like you said, we're out there sitting down on the bleachers seeing some games.
Yeah.
I like
talking about that, did you ever sit down and watch men's fast pitch as a kid? Was it a thing?
Yeah. Before I really started getting into it, yes, I did, and I saw some good players back in the day, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just a lot different and built different too.
Yeah. Was there any out there that you'd be like, man, I can't wait to play this game? Somebody you idolized out there?
You saying that, Mario, man, I saw a team called the Austin Aces, man, and they had this gentleman named Gabe Padilla. He could have played Texas baseball. I seen him hit 8 home runs in one weekend, man. His favorite, because he was a golfer. His favorite pitch was
low ball.
Low ball, man, and then we played at a field. Well, you never been to Austin to play Butler Fields. That's where the fields that we used to play at. There were some trees out around the outfield. I've seen this guy crank 2 or 3 over the trees.
Over the trees.
You talk about hit a blast, dude. And that guy I was just at awe, man, and wow, unbelievable how somebody can hit the ball that far. But he was just natural, man.
Yeah. Did you ever get to play against him as a young guy?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, he played on the team with the Jokers, man.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I have a picture of him, man. I'm gonna see if I can find it and show you, man. This guy was just unbelievable. He's about 6'3". I mean, good sized man, and you talk about natural, man. And his golf game is unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
He could have been a professional, man, but he just he fell in love, and he could have went to play for the University of Texas, but he decided, he got married, and so that happens to some of the best of us, man.
Yeah.
But it's I was really amazed by the way he hit the ball, and I just couldn't. I said, "Wow, man, this guy makes it look easy," but he just came natural, and I was just thankful that I was able to be on the same team with him.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So as far as league play there in Austin, on the league nights, who did you play for?
I started out playing with a team called the Deuces Wild. Then I played with the Old Timers, and then I ended up playing with the Austin Jokers. As a matter of fact, I had went to Dallas. You've heard Alfonso Ramos, right? The band. Well, I went with my cousin to Dallas and to set up for him. And I was with the band and my cousin.
Okay.
Well, the next morning when we came in, I had to stop at a park, and the team, the Jokers, were playing, and that was my tryout. I tried out for the Jokers, and so I just had shorts, Mexicano shorts and a T-shirt, and come out there and, okay, Herb, you can bat and so. Well, I didn't have my uniform yet, but after that game, I had my uniform, man.
Nice.
I went like 4 for 4.
You have cleats?
Tennis shoes.
Just regular. You had the Chuck Taylors?
That's it. The Converse, brother. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. But that's how I got my uniform. The joke and my number's 12. My favorite number's 12.
Okay, yeah. And for people out there that are watching or listening, I have a Joker's hat on, which
Yes.
Who is the gentleman that runs the Jokers now?
Well, now it's Adam Gonzalez.
Yeah, okay. I think it was Adam.
Yeah.
We saw him in Newton last year,
Yes,
and
yes.
he gave me a hat, and he gave one to Jaime as well.
Yeah.
So, and then the burnt orange.
Yes, sir. That goes because one of the original Jokers, he used to work for the University of Texas.
Okay.
Oh.
So remember that picture I showed you?
Yeah,
That's when,
and then you
that's,
said
that's when we brought the color burnt orange in to add it on with the green and gold, which
Yeah.
with the outline of the the burnt orange made it pop a little bit more,
Yeah.
man. So and but like I said, when we used to have softball tournaments, the gentleman that I was talking about that used to work for the University of Texas, he used to bring in big time players to come and hand out the trophies when it's a trophy presentation.
Oh.
So
Wow.
we had a few baseball players, and then one year he brought Earl Campbell. You know Earl
No,
Campbell?
number
Yes.
34.
I got his picture right here, brother. I'm telling you, man. It was just man. And then again, when we used to practice, my friend that I was talking about lived by UT. Earl Campbell showed up at one of our practices one time with 2 baby Doubleman pinchers,
Yeah.
and then he had a big old dip of skull in his mouth, man. You talk about down to earth person, God. And it was just like, and then he won the Heisman Trophy. He was signing pictures for us, man.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
talk about that's a great feeling when you see somebody like that, and
Yeah.
wow, big time, man. You talk about big man. I mean, but he was down to earth, just like a friendly dude, man. It's
Yeah.
just it's
That's
great,
cool.
It's a great
Yeah,
thing.
he
It
was
really
he was
is.
a big running back for the Houston Oilers back
Yes,
in the day.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, big time.
Yeah. I remember Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
I actually buy his sausages that
They're
he's got.
good. Yeah,
He's got sausages
Yes,
out
sir.
there.
He sure does.
Yeah, I bought those before.
So in your 35 years that you played, you did a lot of traveling. You've got to see a good part of the United States, or
yeah.
I mean, how far did you travel? What was
I was able to hit all 4 corners of the United States.
nice? Okay.
I played in Texas. Then I went to California, to Salem, Oregon, Fargo, North Dakota, Madison, Wisconsin, Kissimmee, Florida, and just thankful to play. But I mean, I met a lot of good people, but playing ball, just able to go in them areas and see the different, the way the fields look, the areas that you play in. Because in Oregon, beautiful pine trees, you know what I mean? I mean, it's greenery up there. You go to North Dakota. We played in the Nationals in September, and it was ya estaba frío.
Yeah.
It was already cold over there, man. And then Madison, Wisconsin's a whole different thing.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And then Florida, it's hot. You're by the coast. But like I said, it just I was thankful to see
And what team was this?
the Austin. Well, when I went to Salem, Oregon, it was the Kansas City, the sports page from here.
Oh, you play with Sports Page.
Yeah, Boosty and I.
Yeah.
Boosty and I got to play with Sports Page. They
Boosty,
came and
yeah.
asked us. We were the only 2 Mexicanos on
Okay.
that team.
Oh, okay.
And man, we had a beautiful sponsor, Dino's dad.
Yeah.
Man, a beautiful person, Charlie. May he rest in peace. And he wanted Boosty and I to play with him, man, and we were thankful to be able to play with him, and he took care of us.
So you and Boosie go way back too, right?
We do, yeah, we do. Like I said, I met him. That's when I met him. And, well, I seen him in 1976, 77 in San Antonio. The Amigos played at the Glowworm tournament.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And then we played him in the championship one year, and we beat him. And as a matter of fact, we beat him 1-0 because that guy I told you about,
Yeah.
that golfer,
Yeah.
he hit one out on Blanco, dude. I know that thing went about at least 400 feet, man. And final score, 1-0.
What that thing, right?
1-0.
What position were you playing?
I left field. I played left field.
So
yeah.
did it go over you?
No,
Oh,
he was
No,
on
he
my
was on
team.
his team.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Sorry,
He
yeah,
was
sorry.
on my team.
That's right.
And I was thankful for that, man. Look, here's the picture of Earl Campbell, and
That's cool.
that was at the tournament, and everybody wanted to take a picture. So he,
and that was just a college kid.
Yeah.
He was just a college kid at that time.
Exactly.
But everybody knew he was going to go pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who didn't know number 20? He was
Is
number
that
20.
his
He was
20?
number 20. Yeah, in
20
college. In college.
Okay, and then he wore the big 3-4.
Yeah, they sure did. And the gentleman I'm talking about is this gentleman on the right.
Okay.
His name's Gabe Padilla. Talking about a superstar, dude. Bad dude, man. I'm telling you.
Is that you next to him, or is that John Travolta?
Yeah, that's me, man. About 150 pounds lighter. Yeah, that's so different, man. But like I said, it's just like I said, the camaraderie that you know around the softball field, and like I said, you want to beat each other at 1st, and then come on after the game, let's go have a beer, man.
So no desire to go back to baseball once you got started in softball?
Yes, there was, but then again, it was. As a matter of fact, I played in the men's 50 and over league here in Kansas City at Satchel Paige Stadium.
Really?
Yeah. As you know Steve Orozco?
Yeah.
Steve,
yeah.
Well, he had a team, man. We were the Dodgers. I played with him and Angelo Lapari, John Lapari, and a few other guys. Yeah. I played in the 50 and over league here at Satchel Paige Stadium, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, there's softball is just what it was, man, and it's really enjoyable being able to meet all the people that I met and traveling. Yeah.
So after 35 years, luckily you met your wife at the ballpark because she already knew what that was going to be like, right?
I met her at a club, and then she'd never been to the park.
She was? You didn't find? Oh,
no.
Okay.
Her uncle introduced me at Amigos Club, and she knew I was playing because I was with the team. Saturday evening, she went to the park. And then, because I met her on Friday, she ended up going to the park on Saturday, which was made me feel good because all my homeboys saw this young, beautiful lady walking down, and who's she here for? She's here for number 12, baby.
Yeah, number 12. I gotta ask, why number 12?
Well, Roger Staubach, baby.
That's right.
Roger Staubach, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
See that star up there? That's what it's all about, man. And I got to see the Dallas Cowboys in black and white TV, man, back in the 50s, 60s, bro.
Yeah.
And then that's when they had Dandy Don Meredith and all that. But number 12 is...
That's the number that stood out back in the day.
Roger Staubach, man. And, I've just... Ever since then,
Captain Comeback.
That's it, baby. That's it, man. It's a Heisman Trophy winner for Navy. And shit, so, but yeah.
Say, and then, I don't know if you noticed when you walked in this... I had to put my logo over there on that side.
Oh,
I wanted Herbie to see the star I put up many years ago.
Yeah. We were talking about that Sunday, and he said, "Yeah, when you come to my house, man, in my podcast room, I got a star." I said,
"Yeah."
And then when I walked in, I was, "Yeah, there you go. That's it, man."
So before this became a podcast area, we had all Cowboys down here at one point. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. See, I had this side gray. I had this one white. And the one behind you was the navy blue.
Right.
And I had all kinds of
people
stuff.
didn't like to come down here because of that.
Well,
it was just a jealousy,
Yeah, exactly. And I hope that one of these days that y'all can come to our house and you'll see my room. I don't have as much as him, but there was one time where we were talking and somebody said, "Yeah, Mario's a Cowboy fan." I said, "Well, that's my man right there, man." I can't remember. We were somewhere, and then we talked about the teams, and they were talking about Chiefs, and well, who's your team?
It might have been either in Houston or Austin or something like that when when we talked. Yeah, you were still living over there.
Yeah,
and we went. We played some tournaments.
Okay, so wait. So when did you guys meet? Through the softball?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I think. I remember playing against, I was a young, 17, 18, and you guys are just blowing people out of the water when you're playing with the Amigos, you and Boosty, and, so that's how I knew of Herbie.
So from the Amigos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I've met a lot of my friends here on the ball field. And like I said, that even started back home in Austin, meeting the other guys from Houston, San Antonio, everywhere else. And back then it was really different because we really didn't participate or hang with each other after the games. We would just get together, play, shake hands, good game, and we'd go about our business. But later on, we started, hanging with the guys. Why can't we go, meet the other guys and talk to them and have a beer with them? And it just got better and better, and we started, mingling.
Everybody just started clicking,
mingling more and enjoying having a beer, but. Talking about softball, you know what I mean? That's what we did all the time. Talk about softball. And,
that's what we did.
Yeah, the Camino, everywhere you go, so it was pretty fun.
Here, about 3 years ago, right when I started this podcast, I got to set up in Newton. I set up my podcast in Newton, and I talked to legends of the game.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Vega.
Yes.
Who,
Yes.
you know, still, I believe he's still
Correct.
with us,
Yes.
right? And,
Yes.
and I talked to the Rodriguez brothers, you know, from Emporia.
Right.
I talked to those guys. Danny Salas. Yeah, you know, it was cool. It was cool to get some nice stories from them about it, because that was the 75th anniversary.
Correct.
That year.
Yes.
That
yes.
year.
I remember because I was there too. Like I said, you know, I got to play in the old timers game. You know, but
Yeah,
like I said,
actually. Yeah. So was it last year? It was last year's game.
last year and the year before. Yeah, the 75th. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, because I played in that one as well, and I mean, because you and Boosty were on the team, and I was like, I was having flashbacks with you two guys on that team, and I'm on the opposite side, and then they, you know, I go into the dugout, and I'm 52, 53 at the time, and they're like, "You're the youngest guy on the team. You're playing center field." Like, man, I hope Boosty and Herbie don't hit the ball like they used to.
Hey, I was barely to get you know, able barely to get a hold of one. He would get it out of the infield, man. You know, so don't worry about that, bro. Just like I said,
Shit, but then Boosty come up, and I was like, okay, his guy still swings like he fucking can still hit it hard. And then my primo Jaime's like, Boosty, hit it to Mario. Hit it to Mario. I'm like, oh, dude, no.
Hey, you have the good wheels out there, bro. So, you know.
Oh, shit. Dude.
Yeah, but
that was fun. That was fun to do.
It really is, especially when you...
I don't know if I'll play in it. I don't think I'm going to, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going this year because we're getting ready to go take a trip to Vegas because they have that Vegas Tejano thing on. You know, they're having it this July from the 11th through the 15th, and they have all the Tejano bands.
So
over
the
there.
the following weekend.
Yeah, so I said, you know, I told my wife,
man, that'd be cool.
It would, yeah, and like I said, it's going to be the, man, I can't believe it's the 28th or 29th year that they've been having it, man. So they got a lot of good bands Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Do you guys go normally every year? Or?
No, not every year. We went to the 24th, which was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then we decided to go this year.
Okay.
I'm meeting a couple of my relatives over there with
Cool.
their
Okay.
wives. So
We do need to go one day.
And
That'd
I'll
be
tell
fun.
you,
That would be fun to go
I love
check it out.
I love Tejano music.
Yeah.
Can't get me off the floor once you get on there,
Yeah,
brother.
I
Hey,
know,
and I
yeah.
got my towel with me. I'm wiping all that sweat off. And when I dance, I sweat like I'm playing ball, man. You know, yeah, seriously. But it's gonna be fun, God willing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember your very first home run in fast pitch?
You know what? I wasn't too much of a power hitter.
No?
Mario. No.
I mean, hell, if you hit one in the gap, though, you know,
well,
if you had, did you have the wheels?
Yeah, they're true. Yeah, they're true there. But like I
Yeah.
said, when you say home run, I just, you know, I don't think over the fence. I don't.
No,
I
not
hit
too many.
over the fence. No,
Yeah, I
no.
know. Oh, okay.
I just like to make contact, you know, and help my team, and you know, I know the cleanup man and the number three hole. They're the power hitters, man. But I was a leadoff batter all the time.
Okay.
So I started it off.
There you
I
go.
started off, but like
Yeah.
I said, not too many home runs.
Yeah.
I remember my first little league home run.
Okay.
Back in about 1967, man.
Did you hit that one out of the park?
Yeah, with a wood bat.
Dang.
Oh, yes, boy. Hit it over the fence. hit it over the scoreboard. I said, "Toy perrón, boy." I said, "Hey, I got enough power here, man." But yeah, that was back in the day. But not too many home runs, man. I'm just a base hitter, man.
There you go.
And,
Yeah. Just make some
I
contact.
just want to help the team out, get on base, and that's when I had Boosty or Ducks here. But back home, I had that homeboy I just showed you right
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
Dang,
But
that's
yeah,
cool.
It was just a good.
With most of your career playing fast pitch, was that in Texas or is it here?
You know, it was probably here because I played from like 1973 to until 1981 when I moved up here. Then I played the rest of the years here.
Okay.
But then again, they used to fly me back home.
to play.
My homeboys from Houston and my homeboys from Austin used to fly me back home to go play in the big tournaments over there, man. So yeah, but most of the years I played here. I played here from 81 to like 95, 96, something like that.
And then so you said you played with
I played with the Amigos. I played with the Reds. I played with the Angels. And those were the three teams that I played with here in Kansas City. And Sports Page.
Sports Page, yeah, there
Page.
you go.
Correct. Yeah. So those teams are here in Kansas City, man. But back home, the Deuces Wild, the Old Timers, and then the Jokers, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you see? Is it dying there in Texas
Oh, my
too?
God, is
The fast pitch.
Yeah, you know, we hate talking about it because back when we used to play, there was just like in our league, we had a league.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had 12 teams
Yeah.
in league, man. So like they had to
And
separate.
it was like that here too?
Yeah, and now they're lucky to have 3 or 4 teams. So that's really bad, man. And it's sad that a lot of them want to play slow pitch.
Right.
See, man, come and play a real game, man.
Yeah.
And I always tell the guys that, oh yeah, we got a badass team and stuff like that. I said, well, y'all play it's called hit me ball, hit me. Throw slow pitch. I said, come and play fast pitch, man. And if you can hit a fast pitch when you're
and some of the, I think, I believe some of those guys who play slow pitch can play fast pitch.
Oh yes. They
just, some of them have never tried it. Some of them, so a few years ago, my cousin Adan had a great idea. He's like, if there's a slow pitch tournament going on, let's use one of those fields and mark it up as a fast pitch and have a fast pitch exhibition game going on. So these guys who play slow pitch can just kind of look over there and like, man, those guys are playing fast pitch. And that looks like fun.
It might change their mentality. Yeah. Say, hey, you know what I look
and it's, hell, why not? We can still do that.
Very true. Very true. And like I said, they got Eagles Nest. I would just wish there was another field where they were next to each other. Where, like you said, they play slow pitch over here. And hell, there's a fast pitch game. I've never seen that because there's a lot of people that have played slow pitch that have never seen fast pitch before.
Yeah. And that's the thing that nowadays it's kind of hard. Which is another reason why some teams go get other pitchers to help out. Because there's not very many pitchers around.
Right.
You pitched back in your day too, right? You threw the ball a little bit.
I was a batting practice pitcher at first, and then then you become, because your team, your team loses their main pitcher, so you become the main pitcher, And I had back when I played with Sports Page, we went to go play in the Class A Nationals in Oregon, and we had Herman and Kevin. I don't know I can't remember Kevin's last name, but Herman.
Yeah.
Well, we had them guys on the team, and they decided to go look at the whales, decide to go to the coast, which was about an hour and a half from where we were at in Salem, Oregon. Well, here we getting ready to have start a game, and here comes Dino and Dow. They came and said, Herbie, you ready? I said, yeah, man, left field, let's go, man, I'm ready. No, Herbie, are you ready? I said, yeah, man, I'm ready. No, are you ready to pitch? And I said, pitch in the Class A Nationals? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You paid Herman and Kevin to come and pitch. Well, where are they, man? So they told me where they were.
Oh, no.
Man, here comes the game face, brother. I threw 5 innings of shutout ball.
Did you?
That's the biggest. And then,
so something you remember, you'll always remember.
I'll always remember. And then Charlie, the owner of the club, Sports Page, he said, I'm going to call you Shooter from now on. Shooter. Yeah. I said, okay. But I went out and did what I had to do. And then Herman came back, and they scored a run. We won, but they scored a run off Herman, which he's the ace.
Yeah.
And me being a batting practice pitcher, I threw 5 innings of shutout ball, and I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah,
man,
that's cool.
So just the competitiveness that came out, and let's go, let's focus and do what you got to do, man. So that's just a memory. I'll never forget that until the day I die, bro.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was just something beautiful, man.
Yeah. The state of Texas is known for football, would you say?
Yes.
College, high school, pro.
Yes.
I mean, fast pitch, is fast pitch known big in Texas?
The southern part, there were some teams that used to come down from Lubbock, Amarillo, maybe Dallas, but not as many as Houston, Brownsville, San Antonio, Galveston, Port Arthur, and more. I think it happened more in the south region, the south area. But there were quite a few teams around.
Yeah,
Killeen, like you say, Killeen. And,
But Latinos or everybody?
It was everybody, but down in the south it was mainly Mexicanos.
It was
okay. Yes, maybe mainly Mexicanos, and I mean we had a lot of teams, man. It just like I said, it just died down so much, and it's sad, man.
And it's good to see that the teams here that are still trying to
keep it alive.
Trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, exactly. And you need that, man, because like I said, like the Jokers, when I first started playing, when they all had little and which grew up to play fast pitch as well, and because when I was out there, them little kids wanted to chase balls and all that other stuff, and and they seen the parents, the dads playing, and that's how I met a lot of these guys too, man. And then I was able to play with their kids, man, which was a good feeling. Yeah, being able to see their kids grow up, and they were good ball players as well because they were around it all the time. But now, like you said, it's just so different, and it's sad, man, because fast pitch is a good sport, man. Men's fast pitch softball is a good sport. It's just that to see it go down like the way it is, it's pretty sad.
Yeah. It is. It is. You doing all right?
I'm good. I'm good, brother. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So talking outside of Tejas, you played fast pitch. Did you ever play with any other teams from anywhere else besides Texas and in Kansas City? Like
well,
any teams from another state that just
no,
will call you, or
no, I just played with the, like I said, the
just these teams?
Amigos, the Reds, the Angels, Sports Page. Well, not really anybody else, man. But in, like it's in Austin. I mean, when I lived in Austin, I played with the Houston. I played with the San Antonio Glowworm a couple of times.
The Glowworms, okay.
Excuse me. I played with the Houston A's. My homeboy that was here umpiring.
Yeah.
And like I said, they were the first ones to ever fly me out of the state of Texas, man, to Colorado Springs.
Oh.
And that was a beautiful because Pikes Peak in the
Yeah.
background. And,
Yeah. That's
and,
cool.
then you know, I had a good tournament that weekend. I won the batting title. Remember that picture I showed you?
Yeah.
I won the batting title, man. And then the following year, I was going to go back and try and defend my title. Well, a week before that tournament, I just was greedy. We were playing, and I was on base. I said, I'm going to steal base. 10-0 lead. I broke my ankle.
Oh.
I broke my tibial and fibula.
Just
I had a stainless steel screw all the way through this one right here. See that screw? See that?
Yeah.
Scar? And there's a scar on this side, man.
What? Just sliding into second or something?
And my foot got stuck.
Ooh.
The right fielder said he heard that thing go. So, but look, we had a 10-0 lead twice.
I know.
I know, right?
Yeah,
pendejo eres.
me castigó Dios, man,
Yeah.
for real. He said, "Why, dude? You're already winning, man. Why are you
Right? Yeah.
greedy, man?" But like I said, you learn from your mistakes.
Yep.
But and then as a matter of fact, that weekend they won the tournament, man. They called me. I was in the hospital. I had just had the operation, and
Oh, man.
they called me, Herb. We won it for you, man. So they signed me a ball. All the homeboys signed a ball.
That's cool.
I mean, it's a great thought, man. But just wanted to be there.
I know, right?
God, dang, man.
Yeah.
But it's softball. Softball's taken me a lot of places, and I met a lot of great people, man. It really has. And like I said, it just why it's died down so much. You know, that's the sad part. You know, it's just dying down so much. And
Yeah.
When you playing ball here, was the Amigos the team that you played for the longest?
yes, because then I went with the Reds and the Angels and Sports Page, but the Amigos from '81 until Waxy died. You know,
Okay,
Waxy,
yeah.
Until
May
he
he rest
passed
in
away.
peace, yeah.
Yes. May he rest in peace. I was a good man.
So then you probably knew my Theo.
Did you know
Nabe.
Oh my, that was your uncle.
Yeah, Uncle
Dave
Nate.
Villa, man.
Yeah.
That's a good man. You
Yeah.
talk about a hard-working man.
Yeah.
Man could do some contractor work, boy.
Yeah.
It's construction, man. Yeah. I used to see him because I used to work at Amigos as well.
Okay.
The Amigos, I played with the Amigos. They got me a bartending job. I didn't know how to mix drinks, but hey, I know how to.
Do you know how to drink them?
Very true. yes. I tell you, I learned that sport real well. I know Nate real well. Wow,
Okay.
it's a small
Yeah.
world. It's a small world, man.
Yeah.
But I met so many good people, man. You know, here in Kansas City, and then when we were living in Texas, I told my wife, "Are you ready to go back home?" She says, "What?" I says, "Are you ready to go back home?" She goes, "Are you sure you want to go back?" I said, "Look, I have a great granddaughter. That's my pride and joy right there.
There you go.
That's my pride and joy." So I said, "You know what? I want to come and raise her because I raised her dad and his brother. My daughter. Well, I don't know if you know Ascension Vasquez. Well, that's my wife's ex. That's who my wife had the kids from.
Okay.
I mean, and so I raised my wife's kids. I
Got
took
it.
the whole package.
Yeah.
So when I moved, he was 6 and she was 3. Now they're 50 and 47.
Oh.
So and this is my princess
baby.
right here.
Yeah,
My princess.
yeah.
So I told my wife, I said, "Let's go back to Kansas City. Are you sure?" I retired. I said, "Yeah, I want to have you home. God forbid something happens to me.
Right.
You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
calling the kids. Go move you back over
Right.
here." And so I'm here. I'm back. Like I said, like I told everybody, I guess I gotta say I'm back home.
There you go.
You know, but it's
Welcome
good.
back,
Thank
buddy.
you,
Yeah.
but hey, I tell you what, it's enjoyable, man. I enjoy Kansas City. People are good. I mean, I've met a lot of good people here. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I love people. I love talking to people. And if you want to say hi to me, if I say hi, go ahead. If you don't, well, I said hi anyway. You
Yeah.
don't want to try it, but life's too short.
Yes,
You know,
I agree.
I dislike rudeness. I dislike ugly people. I mean, just being nasty is just. That's not in my dictionary. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's not in my vocabulary at all. So, but life is good. You know,
Good.
look who I'm associating with right now. I feel like I'm so Tejano. Aquí está mi
There we go,
Tejano
yeah.
right here. Are you from El Paso as well?
I am not. No.
No, see, so I have familia in El Paso. I was born and raised here in Kansas City, but we spent a lot of summers in El Paso. That's where my mom and then my dad was from Juarez.
Okay.
So we'd go to El Paso, and then my dad would go visit his mom in Juarez, and
Right,
so
right.
it was just every summer for me.
Right.
You know, it was
right.
like my second home during the summer. Sometimes we would go during the holidays. I'd have to take homework.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
sometimes I'd be sitting in my grandpa's room doing my homework while kids are outside playing. And ooh, I did not like this, but I had to get it done.
Yeah.
Can you remember the lineup that you had with the Amigos? The solid lineup.
Lead off, Brian Padilla second.
Brian, Uncle Brian.
Richard Cesena third. Boosty, cleanup man. Eddie Hernandez, 5-man. We had Stevie Garcia,
Okay.
shortstop. We had Rabbit. Rabbit was 8th man. And 9th man, well, they didn't have DH back then, so whoever pitched, Paulie used to bat for himself.
Okay.
And then, well, hell, we only had Paulie pitching back then, and then every once in a while we had Shoulders. I remember you met Shoulders. Shoulders pitched for us, and then who else pitched for us? But I was leadoff batter. Every team I played with, I was leadoff batter.
Okay.
But like I said, that was a good team to play.
Solid
lineup. And then Porgy played with us sometimes. Every time, well, sometimes whenever Stevie Garcia wasn't there, Porgy played with us. And then Hank. What was his last name, man? I can't remember. But like I said, I remember that lineup. We had a great team. And then Billy Musquez.
Okay.
Billy Musquez was our first baseman. That's right, Billy Musquez, man. So he batted down there, but that was a good.
Brian did a little bit of time with Los Indios.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got to play with us for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I played with some good ball players here too, man. And then when I went to go play with Sports Page, that was a whole different because they were Americanos.
Yeah.
So that was a different team. But like I said, when you see Boosty clean up there, and I was leadoff batter, so
man,
they appreciated the way we played. Man.
I tell you, I've told the story before. I don't know if I've told it on this podcast, but I remember I was just a kid, and we'd be, that little island right there at Shawnee Park.
Yeah.
And Boosty be stretching out, and he was huge.
Yeah.
And I just look up at him, and he put his wristbands on and tying his shoes. I'm like, that's a baseball player right there played, and he used to put it. I mean, it's right field was.
Yeah, that was just.
He was always hitting, putting it out in the street.
Yes, hit that little restaurant across the street or whatever.
I think that one time they had a KU logo out there. Yeah, I remember Boosty used to scare me all the time. And like I say, he scared me when we played in the old man.
Just last year.
He was a pretty boy too. He liked it. Like I said, he's just one of a kind dude, man. Like I said, he hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
But like I said, he's my compadre. I baptized his daughter.
Okay.
But we're compadres. And like I said, at the beginning, we were kind of knocking heads because, Se creemos, this and that. But, bring him down to earth a little bit, man. Come on, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Boosty in here one day, too.
He's a good man. Good man.
Yeah.
And he loves to talk sports, too. Definitely loves to talk sports, man.
We were talking, and and I told you, I said, man, you never got out of that yellow and gold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what the
Austin Jokers were the yellow and gold, and then the Amigos were the yellow and gold.
Yes, that was crazy, man. Because, like you said, I wore green and gold back there. And then I said, well, I'm moving to Kansas City, and
green and gold.
I had to try out for the Amigos too, man. They just didn't let me go on the team. We had a practice at observation field one time. They said go out in left field. Brian was in left field.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all take. How I used to, take in, infield, fungo, and throw it to outfield, throw it to second base, throw it to third base, throw it to home plate. Mm-hmm. One round, and all of a sudden, Brian, go to right field. I said, "Oh, okay, that's my spot now. Left field's my spot, man." Which was funny, man. And because I tell a lot of guys that they said, "Herbie, they made you try out, man." I said, "Yeah, man. I just tried like everybody else,
Yeah.
But it was fun. Fun, though, man. Just the thought of trying out after
I got to put you on the spot. Where did you have more fun playing? Was it in Austin or was it here in KC?
Do I see how you are?
You don't have to answer.
No.
You can plead the fifth. I'll be truthful.
No, I'll be truthful, man. I loved Austin, man, because it was just a lot more competition. I mean, a lot more raza.
Yeah.
And being because when they used to have the San Antonio Glowworm tournament, they used to have like 24 teams, man, and all Mexicanos.
Crazy. Yeah.
24 teams, all Mexicanos, and then the Latin. You couldn't have a Latin pitcher, but you could have a Latin player but they all had to be Mexicano pitchers, man. So, but like I said, that was back when you had to put both feet on the pitcher's plate. There was no crow hopping and stuff. So it was a lot different. But I really enjoyed Texas, a lot, brother. That's cool. That was my home, and just to be able to play there and to be noticed and stuff like that. That's a good feeling, man. Because you play a lot of good players. Not saying that there's not a lot of good players here, but back there's
a lot of good ball back in the day.
Yes, big time, man, big time.
But you guys kind of had an advantage because you could play all year long, right?
Correct. Yeah, we started playing like in January.
Yeah.
Seeing over here, look at me, it's till April, man.
Right,
We played till
right,
April.
yeah.
So
First
very true. That's a good
usually.
point. You make a good point there. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So like I said, we get a head start on everything. You know what I mean? But thankful. But like I said, it's good here. I mean, I know these guys would love to start playing sooner, but you can't, man, because it's too cold, and the fields don't let you because it's too dang cold. Who wants to be out there freezing, man?
I know.
What was that one position that you never wanted to play?
Catcher.
It's funny. It's funny because I even have that in my notes. Like, I bet it's catcher. Not too many people like to play that position. I liked it. I did it in baseball, little league, and then I started doing it because my dad was a catcher, and I would back him up a few times, and you get more involved in the game. I think
you're in
as
every
a catcher.
Pitch. Every pitch.
Every
pitch. You're never. You see it all.
Yeah.
And to see these pitchers like that guy that pitched Sunday, this weekend, but back in our day, but to be catcher, I just said, man, I don't know if I'm gonna squat that much. I already have bad knees already.
Those knees,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to see the pitch coming and to a foul tip or whatever, but yeah, catcher, bro. That's the position that that's okay. I'll let some other young man put the gear on.
Okay,
man.
so the pitcher, did he bring his own catcher? Were they a combo?
Well, back in our day, back when I played, it's just whoever wanted to catch for the team. But nowadays, the way the pitchers are, they do bring their catchers.
Because I'm thinking of the guy that just pitched.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I don't know if
that'd be kind of scary if you're back there and you're not used to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, seeing somebody throw that hard.
Yes. Because
like Herbie said, that guy didn't even put a glove on it. That ball just went boom, straight to the dirt and came up.
Yeah. And my homeboy couldn't believe it either, man. Some of the guys said, "Well, how did that happen?" He said the catcher didn't catch it; it hit the ground, and I guess the rotation of the ball just.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the thread that hit him and scraped him out, but.
This guy,
man, it's just wow. I have never seen a cut like that or a abrasion. It was It was a deep abrasion.
Looked like a bite.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so that was on Saturday when that happened?
That was Sunday. That was a championship game.
That was the next to the last batter.
Oh my.
Yeah, he umpired the whole game, and then the next to the last batter.
Did he finish?
Yeah, he finished it. He finished it, man. And but he had a towel and he was holding it like that, but he still. Then after that. Took the towel off, sangre for.
Really?
It was pretty ugly, man. And like I said, but he finished the game. But it was the next to the last batter of the day.
Wait, so then who was it? Somebody from the Locos?
Yeah, it was somebody from the Locos that was batting.
Yeah,
but it was the catcher for the Bravos couldn't
handle it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So let's get into this. So once you retired the game of softball. You wanted to become an umpire just so you can stay
connected,
stay involved, stay connected.
Yes. Once I stopped playing, I wanted to stay involved, so I started umpiring. I was classified. I mean, I got certified.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go to school. You know what I mean, and to learn the basics. Well, even though you know the game, there's a lot more to learn, man.
Yeah.
So you go to umpiring school and get certified, and when you're certified, and then when you start, and it's easy money. You can make $300 or $400 a weekend. And, I used to do girls, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, whatever the age was. And then I did high school ball. I did 6A and 5A high school ball, which I really enjoyed, man. I really did. And, well, like I said, it just kept on. And I did a lot of men's fast pitch with my homeboy from Houston. That when they came up here, we used to umpire in San Antonio, Houston, and Austin.
Yeah, wow.
So like I said, it was I really loved it. I mean, if you love the game that much, I wanted to stay in it some way where, to try and help people out. But umpires, they say you're not supposed to help the kids out. But man, that's just something that I want to do. But if you're an umpire, they don't even want you talking to the players and stuff or the coaches.
Yeah.
When you're between the lines, you don't. But I wanted to help out some kids so bad, man. Help them maybe fix their pitching, the release point or their,
or their batting stance,
that too. Yeah,
scoot back, scoot up.
Yeah, it all comes together, man. But let's see, you just learn to be an umpire and just learn the game and positioning yourself. And learning the strike zone, you know what I mean? Which if you batted enough times, which we did, man. I don't know. Well, that's crazy to talk about how many times that you bat. It's crazy all the years that you played, so you never know how many times you batted. But still, you know where to stand, like you said, in the box and where to where to position yourself. But umpiring, mechanics, and positioning yourself to make the call is the big thing in softball, man. It really is.
Okay, but it's not always the funnest position though, because you got parents. If you're talking about the young ones.
But you know what you learned, because when I first started umpiring, they told me, if you can't take any criticism or sarcasm, this isn't for you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because they chirp, but you know what I did? I just laughed, because once I put that blue shirt on, I run the show.
Yep.
That's my show. You know what I mean?
That's what Herbie was telling me. He said, once I put that blue on, hey, it's my
game, baby. Whatever they can say, whatever they want, I'm just going to laugh. I'm going to turn around and laugh. Yeah. I'll put my mask on and I'll just, okay, whatever. Did they just say that? And you hear some crazy stuff. Come on, blue, this and that.
I have some sayings. We'll go just some stuff that I looked up and I'm like,
okay,
did they really say this kind of shit to umpires?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard them all or not, but you probably have. Yeah, so you felt powerful with that shirt on.
Yeah,
like Superman.
That's it.
But it's the umpires that do talk back, and then you're like, they've lost it. Once they start talking to the parents, they've lost control.
Yes, and then
it's like, don't even. You ignore them. You do your job.
And they're going to start calling you rabbit ears, because you know what? You're not supposed to converse with them. You call the game and you leave it on the field.
Right.
If they can say anything they want to behind the fence.
Yeah.
But no cursing, no vulgar language, because that's when you know what. Let's go. There's a certain, you can talk as much as you want, but no vulgarity, no cussing. So, because that's called, because there's kids around there. You know what I mean? You gotta have the respect for the kids and for the other families, man. So, and some of the fans, they get pretty obnoxious, man.
Oh, I bet
they say some crazy stuff. But like I said, when I used to come, I just used to laugh, man. But like I said, you know what? I'll make the last call.
Yep.
That's right. That blue shirt means a lot, man.
Did you ever wear the red one?
No,
they were like blue ones and red ones.
The powder blue, which is the light blue, and then on Fridays, high school, I used to wear the dark blue shirt.
Okay,
dark blue, to make, because you look good. You know what I mean? You're gray, you're clean, your shoes are shined, and so you're out there looking like, you know what, this guy knows what he's doing. You know
there you go, yeah.
And the coaches, they realize that.
So they respected you. You didn't have anybody kicking dirt on you.
No, never. It never came down to that, because you know what, I really, like you said, positioning yourself and your mechanics. That's what coaches look at. Yeah. And you know what? And then I've even had a few coaches. I want this guy to come back and umpire our game, because you umpire a good game, and they respect you for that. You know what I mean? And they say, well, I want somebody who knows what they're doing. So when they ask for you back, say, that's a pretty good compliment right there.
Yes, no, I agree.
When they could tell you, I want this guy I want Herbie to call my game again. So okay, all right, I didn't think nobody would do that, but yeah, I had a few.
So coaches. Every time you got that call, you hear. Let me do that. Let me see.
Yes, sir.
Herbert, you want to umpire the next game?
I'm there.
Let's go. Oh shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And deep pockets. Come on, baby. Yes, definitely.
I brought my duffel bag. I'm here all weekend.
As a matter of fact, it's just waiting right over there for you, baby. Yes.
So you did most of your umpiring down in Texas?
Yes, I never umpired here.
Not here?
No.
Okay.
And which I wish I could have, because there's a couple of guys that umpire here that asked me to, like, remember Chris Ramos?
Yeah.
Him, and then, Bernie Gray. You know Bernie Gray was umpire?
Yeah.
And he does college, man.
Really?
So I said, wow. And he does college. So I said, I could.
You think you could have done that?
I think I could have done that, yeah. Well, I could have done it back home, because the guy who was our UIC, who was in charge of the umpires, he said, Herb, you could have been a D1 umpire, man. I said,
now you tell me.
Why did I start so late? I started late umpiring. If I would have started, I wouldn't have been able to play, but I could have been umpiring big time schools, man. And they make some good money, man.
Oh.
They can make at least $2 or $3 grand a weekend and get hotel room paid for.
Oh wow.
Food, drinks,
everything. Todo.
Wow.
So that's a big difference, man. And like I said, I'm just upset because I didn't start sooner.
Yeah.
But I loved umpiring, man, because like I said, not being able to play, I'm still involved, but being able to take control, man.
Yeah. So when you played, was there ever a time that you got into a heated conversation with an umpire?
Never, because the coaches that I played for says nobody argues. I do the arguing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there you go. And if
Never got thrown out of a game?
No, sir, never.
Yeah, that's good
And
for you, man.
yeah, I was taught, not to argue, and once you listen to the coach.
You were
Coaches-
raised right.
That goes back to your
That's
mom and dad.
That's right. A lot. It
what I
really
said,
does.
yeah.
Yes, it does. And like I said, I'm
Respecting
thankful.
your elders,
Yes,
respecting your
yes,
authority.
Yes,
like
and I'm thankful, and it just feels
Yeah.
good when somebody takes control and we don't have to worry about nothing. The coach would always tell me, if somebody's going to argue, it's going to be me. I said,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
that's
makes
all
sense.
I love that. Yeah, yeah.
What's the most challenging part of being a blue umpire?
Going to the school, going to umpire school and learning everything, man. And because sometimes you have your instructor letting you know that what you're doing. You never want to be yelled at or told something that you're not doing it right. You need to get here. You need to get there, and that's what the main guys at the umpiring school let you know.
Yeah.
And then you got to be vocal. I was never really vocal, and they said you got to be vocal. They got to hear you.
Yeah.
So you got to position yourself right and dress. And the first time I ever cleaned the plate, well, I put my rear end towards the fans.
Oh.
My umpire, the umpire coach said, "Herbie, turn around. You don't ever put your butt towards the fans, man.
Yeah, put it toward the pitcher."
Yes." And I said, he told me that in front of people, man. I said, "Damn, I feel like this big, man." I said, "Okay, so nobody's gonna see my ass no more, man." So yeah, just being taught correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought umpires did that on purpose, telling you kiss my ass.
That's a good
That's
one,
what I
right?
thought,
That's just
they would
that
do.
kid point at it, kiss it. But just being taught how to go about umpiring, and
Yeah.
But like I said, that was a big challenge right there. And I was taught real quick. Because when they told me, said, "Don't ever turn your ass towards the fans, man. You're gonna turn around, and when you're gonna clean the plate, you're gonna let the outfield or whatever see your butt, but
Yeah.
not the fans. But
Yeah.
just the little things, man, in life, man, that you learn, and it goes a long way. It really does.
Yeah.
And once
When you start off a game, where are you usually positioned? Behind the plate first?
I love being behind the plate.
That was your spot.
Yeah, I
right?
love that. Seeing you're the umpire.
No, I'm not talking about at a buffet.
Oh,
I'm talking.
well, that too. I'm in charge of that too. Those are my favorite 4 words.
I know,
All you
yeah,
can
we
eat.
just had
there you go.
yeah, we just had a buffet for Father's Day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're tearing this up."
And see, and then you talking about buffet. I always tell my wife, like,
Yeah.
you get off at 3:00 at Golden Corral from 1 to 4.
There you go. That's where we went.
baby. They say,
Ooh,
and
that's
say-
good to know.
And I said, "Honey,
Yeah, I don't even know how much it was when we went. I should
It was
know.
more than that.
I told Honey, I said, you know where we're going at 3:00? She goes, GC.
Yeah.
Golden Corral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing girls? What was
yes,
the
I did.
I mean,
Yes, I did. I mean, even seeing little girls, because, as the years go on, you umpire them in high school, and then when you get to see them come from high school to the next level, and you see them playing for a big college, man, I umpired that little girl's game.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's just an honor, man, because, wow, whether she remembered me or nothing or whatever, but to seeing her grow up and get to that next level, that's the beautiful thing about it, man, softball. And being able to see someone that you umpired being, playing D1 ball.
That's awesome.
Come on, man. That's
like you could
great.
see that potential when they were
Oh, yeah,
young, and
yes,
you're like,
yeah.
And then that's when you want to try to give some tips, help them
Well,
out a little bit,
well, it's not that they really need tips because they know what's going on, but
Yeah,
still,
okay, they're
but
well
still-
coached
Yeah,
and-
yeah. And that's an honor of being an umpire, man. Being able to see them get to that next level. And,
true.
Wow, I was able to umpire that young lady's games, man, and look where she's at now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, man. And
Doing those little league games and whatnot. Did you ever have to umpire a game by yourself?
yeah.
How tough is that?
Well.
And then where do you position yourself?
Well, as a matter of fact, you just have enough time to ball hit. You come out from behind the catcher and follow up. Comes in, like I said, you can see the play happen way in enough time. So you just do the best you can, and you give the notice to the coaches. You see me, I'm the only umpire, so I'm going to do the best I can.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's a bang play, well, we'll talk about it. So, like I said, there was not too many arguments, but like I said, you can do the best. You can only do the best you can, you know.
And then you're like, I'm gonna do the best I can, but look at the color of shirt I'm wearing. That should be the key.
There you go. There you go. There's not
call.
going to be too much arguing. You may be able to ask me, but then again, you'll get a quick answer.
So your buddy that you came up to ump this weekend,
yeah,
is he a friend of yours, same age?
Yeah,
and
they play ball together.
Yes,
but he's still umping. He's still.
Yes, I met him in 1975 as well. Like I said,
Okay.
And he played with a team from Houston. I played with a team from Austin, and we played about the same amount of years. And then, as a matter of fact, we probably ended up, quitting playing somewhat about the same time, and he stuck up umpiring, and then and then we kept in touch. And he said, "Homeboy, well, that's my homeboy. I call him homeboy." Yeah. I said, "Guess what? I started umpiring." He says, "Oh, just that's cool, man." So he umpired in Houston, I umpired in Austin, and then these tournaments came around. They started needing umpires, and here we go. So that's when our come on to Austin. I'll come to Houston if you need umpires. So I've umpired in Houston with him. He's umpired in Austin with me. We umpired in San Antonio together.
Okay.
So so that's it was. We took that up. Like I said, that was something that we were looking forward to doing, and that's just the way it fell, man. You retire from playing, so we want to stay on the field. So let's put that blue uniform on.
I gotta ask.
So were you a little jealous because he was out there umping this weekend and you weren't?
No, after he got bit by that dog, Herbie's like, okay, well, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Yeah, because there's a story I can tell you. Because one time we went to San Antonio at the Glowworm tournament, and Tony Mancha was pitching, world class pitcher, man, from California.
Okay.
Well, he threw a pitch, and I was behind the plate. And see how I got a crooked finger, right? This finger's crooked. Well, the ball came off the catcher, and it hit me right in the finger, man. You have your indicator right here. My indicator fell out, and I went like this. And he tells my friends that man, you should have heard Herbie. He said, Ray, he started crying. I said, oh man, that's a homeboy. That ain't right, man. And then one time I was looking for some shade. Yeah. There's no shade on the field, so there's a pole. And I went and stood right in front of the pole, man, like, that's the shade I'm getting, man. He says, God, what are you doing? I said, I need some shade. He said, you go find no shade. As big as you are, man, there ain't no shade there.
Just like you got your face covered, you'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm getting cooled off right here, man. That's it, man. But there's some funny things that have gone on. But it's just, I mean, I miss it. Like I said, just to see him still umpiring. Yes, I did. I was tempted. If they weren't going to have enough umpires, I was tempted to go out there just in my shorts and call the bases.
Yeah.
And I even told Adán, I said, if you need an umpire, I'll do some bases, man. But, don't expect me to come in, because you come in and button hook, and I said, I'll stay on the rim, around the edge. Yeah. But I did tell Adán, I said, if you need an umpire, man, I could do some bases, but I wanted an umpire with him so bad.
Oh,
I do. Yes, I really do, man. I miss it. I really do, man. Yeah. Just having 2 knees replaced, you can't do what you used to be able
Has
to.
he ever had any major surgeries?
Not as bad as I have. Yeah, but he had some bad knees. As a matter of fact, he got some gel injected in. I think he has an appointment tomorrow. He's going to get some gel injected into his knee, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but age gets to you after a while. And he's older. He's older. He's 72.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and like I said, and so he has me by a few years, but like I said, it's just the thought of taking care of yourself and being able to walk without, and he's still umpiring. Like I said, he still does girls league.
Does
over
he?
in
Oh,
Houston.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he's planning on coming back for the Bravos tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cool. That's pretty cool. That was your partner in crime on the diamond.
Big time, brother.
Playing ball, umpiring.
I played for Austin.
And then now you guys knocking out buckets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, when he was playing for Houston, he was the cool guy. He wore wristbands. Before I ever wore wristbands, man, he wore wristbands, and he had that. Remember the big boom boxes back in the 70s?
Yeah.
Well, he was the music man. He would bring the boom box, and he would do all the break dance and all that stuff, man. He was a cool one, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when I first met him, I said, man, I want to go hang out with that team, man. And lo and behold, man, we got together, and we've been together ever since, man.
That's cool.
We have some good stories to tell you. For real, some good stories, brother. For real, man.
That's cool. Yeah. Next time he's in town, man, we need to get together.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Definitely.
Yeah. So these are some of the things these are some little phrases that I heard. I mean, that I read, and I was like, man, I've never heard these, but I'm gonna ask you, because you probably heard of all.
And what are they phrases like that an umpire would hear, or just somebody in
the fans that would The people, do you call them fans when they're chirping at the umpires?
When they try and rag you, when they try and rag on you and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
see, Herbie, hey, you know what? That day you were cleaning the mound. I mean, you cleaning the plate with your ass facing the crowd. They could have been saying, "Hey, what are you staring at?" It could be. So,
Here, take that one.
like I heard, I read this one as I thought only horses slept standing up.
Wow. Yeah. That's fucking ridiculous, man.
Right. Here's another one. You're not going to sleep a minute tonight because you've slept all game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Come on with some more, man. Damn.
Yeah. Hey, Blue, how can you sleep with all these lights on? So a lot of these are like sleeping.
Yeah.
I've seen potatoes with better eyes, Blue.
Up.
Let me see. You need to go to confession after this game, Blue.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, there's so many, man. And like I said, I've heard of a lot of them too, but those are some good ones right there.
I know.
Man. Yes.
How about this one? Wake up, Blue! You're missing a good game.
Oh my God, a lot.
Yes.
Heard that one a lot, man. Yes.
Yeah,
that one for
and then
sure.
the little ones like wrong.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
you suck. Yeah, you're horrible.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, Blue.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You suck one is I haven't heard too much, man. Because you know what? I try to do the best I can so I don't hear crap like that, man.
that's
So,
right.
but you have, but there's just some that just don't care. They're just gonna try and degrade you one way or another. You know what I mean? And just, but yeah, come on, let me see. You got some more.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this one. That was your run, Blue. Or
Yeah.
those were all your runs, Blue.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've heard that. I think I might have said that a few times.
Yeah.
Who you trying to impersonate? Stevie Wonder?
Dang.
Ray Charles? Jose Feliciano? What are you doing, Blue?
Well,
So, of course, a lot of these are, you're blind, Blue.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I've heard one. Hey, how do you spell umpire? With one eye. I said, you know, just damn, man. I said, come on, now.
That's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Dang.
Or getting paid by the team or something.
Yeah. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, how much they paying you, Blue?
Yeah.
Right. Or how much did they give you before the game or some bullshit like that? Well, yeah, but like I said, that never happened to me. You know what I'm saying? That's always been a question. Hey, anybody ever, sleep? No, man, I don't do that. You know, if they tried to, I say, man, you talking to the wrong guy.
I mean, Herbie, come on, seriously. How many times did we see that during the Chiefs games?
Whatever.
Man, I drive Chiefs fans, man, and I feel like telling them, really, y'all got lucky, and like against Denver, against the Raiders, against
I know, right?
games that they should have lost. I said, what's really going on?
And look what's on the Chiefs side. I mean, they just found a way to just pull it off.
Yeah, was it a Taylor thing? Did Taylor have anything to do with it? Did Taylor pay the refs or what, man?
Oh man, you know what? We're talking football now, Herb. Let's talk football real quick. You a big Texas fan? Like as far as like NFL, like who's your NFL teams in Texas?
Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
It used to be the Oilers before they became the Titans.
Okay.
And the Texans, but when there was the Oilers,
yeah,
love your blue, man. Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell.
I tell you, the Houston Oilers. I nowadays I get pretty crazy when people have 3 or 4 teams, and. So back in the day, I had 2, but I had the Cowboys, and in the AFC, I had the Houston Oilers myself.
There you go.
And Warren Moon was my man. That war, and to this day, I was still, Troy Aikman won 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, that's my team. But Warren Moon didn't win the Super Bowl, but I loved watching him play. And then when he came here to Kansas City, I thought it was the coolest thing. He was already, he was like he started a little bit. He backed up a little bit. But we had the honor to meet him. I met him at an airport.
That's beautiful.
Coming home. I can't remember where we were coming from, but we were coming home, and I saw him at the airport, and I was like, I was starstruck. I said, that's my quarterback right there. I went, I talked to him. Can I get an autograph? And I said, you're taking this flight home, right? It was just Southwest. Excuse me. And he was like, yeah, I'm going back to KC to work. I said, so am I. I said, I'm going back to KC. That's where I live. And he's like, you know what? When we're in the air and they let the seatbelts go, come back and talk to me. I'll be in the very back.
Wow, that's beautiful. Man.
And I went back there and I had my boarding pass. He signed my boarding pass. Landed in KCI or MCI, and this is the old airport.
Right.
Took a picture with them there. But there was one question I asked him, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I said, why didn't you ever play for the Cowboys? He looked at me, Herb, and said, you'd never see me in a Cowboys uniform.
Wow.
He told me that, and I was like, Okay, I respect that.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
I was like, okay, don't get mad at me. I don't know how many times he's been asked, but yeah, and it was a rivalry. The Oilers, the Cowboys. Who was the Texas team?
And you remember you saying about the Oilers and the Cowboys, where they almost played in the Super Bowl. That's when remember the Buffalo Bills beat the Oilers.
Yeah,
and the Dallas was already in the Super Bowl. They were just waiting for that championship.
You're right.
And see, now
because that was a big comeback by that was the backup.
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich, yeah.
Man, that was it. See, I worked evenings. As a matter of fact, I worked the midnight shift that time, and I went to sleep. Houston was beating the crap out of
Yeah,
right?
I remember that. Yeah.
And so I went to sleep, and I wake up, and my wife says, "You're going to be mad, Herb." I says, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You're going to be upset." So we put it on ESPN, and they showed previews. I says, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
I went to sleep knowing, it's going to be the Cowboys and the Oilers, man.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Bills ended up beating them. I said, "Are you serious, man?" I was really, really upset, man. And I said that would have been the first all indoor state. You know what I mean? The Oilers and the Cowboys. Yeah. But like I said, I'm a Cowboy at heart. I mean, I got to see them in black and white, man.
That's right.
And the Oilers, I was an Oilers fan. And then talking about the Oilers, my friend that was here this past weekend.
Yeah.
Him and another friend of ours, camarada mío, used to come to the Oilers and Chiefs games all the time when they played here. Mm-hmm. We saw when Warren Moon passed for 590 some yards. I was there at that game.
It was here.
Yeah,
I was there too.
Yeah,
yeah. Me, my dad, and my tío, the one that introduced me to the Cowboys. Yeah, the three of us went to that game.
Yeah.
And man, Warren Moon just aired it out that game.
He was on target, dude.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable, man. And
I remember
me and my homeboy and my other homeboy that he passed away, got ever so we were there at the game, man, and we said, and man, Warren Moon just picked him apart, dude. And I loved it, man. I loved it, man. But like I said, and they've been over here a few other times to see some games in the cold. I think they played the 49ers one time. Something it was freezing, and my homeboy from Houston was so upset. Me and my homeboy Ray, we went back to my van because I had a van at the time.
Yeah.
And my camarada and another friend of ours stayed at the game. So me and my homeboy in there, warming up and stuff. And all of a sudden, the game's over. The Chiefs beat them. So down at a distance, we see somebody walking, and he doesn't have a shirt on or a jacket. And we wondered, who in the hell is that? That's my homeboy from Houston. He was so pissed off that Houston got beat. He took his jacket off, his shirt off, and he was just bare. He had his cowboy hat on and his jeans. And I said, bro, how the hell? That's how cold it is, man. And you got so mad. You got that mad, man. You just had to take off your jacket and your shirt.
That's crazy.
It's just so funny, man. We just talked about that this weekend, man. Yeah. Just bring up memories of the past when they used to come and visit us, and they used to bring fajitas all the time.
Hell yeah,
real fajitas, brother.
Yeah,
because you can't find them here, so they brought real fajitas. Man, so we always ate good when they came in, man. So that's just memories, bro.
That's cool, yeah. No, and that's why I said that's why we like doing this podcast is just talk memories.
Yes, man. A lot of memories.
Put them out there.
But that star, that's the.
Yeah, you listening, Sam? Pay attention. Yeah. So I got to ask you, is it our year?
It's
every
yes.
year we say
yes.
it, right?
Well, yeah. I'm used to saying wait till next year. Wait till next year. That's what I say. And the Chiefs fans always jack with me. I said, but look, y'all didn't win last year, but we still got 5. You only got 4, man. I said, so don't talk no noise to me until you got 5.
And I like to say, I enjoyed watching our little sister playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's where are they from? Dallas. Yeah.
Thank you. Y'all wouldn't have a team if it wasn't for the Dallas Texans, man. Hello. Yes, exactly.
So here's 5 fun facts for everybody out there that want to know this Cowboy stuff, right? Well, that's a fact. One, it is our year. Number 2, greatest running back of all time.
Ooh, wow! I got Dwayne Thomas, Calvin Hill, Walt Garrison, Robert Newhouse, man. But to me, the great. I got to go with Earl Campbell, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know there's Jim Brown. I know there's but I got to go with Earl Campbell, man. All the beating he took. That's why Pittsburgh always beat him, man. Houston never got to play in the Super Bowl because when it was Pittsburgh against Houston to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Steelers were always.
Man,
to me, my number 1 is of course Emmitt Smith.
Leading. My bad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, leading rusher. I don't know if that record. I mean, I'm sure that record will be beat one year, but I couldn't tell you who the closest is right now. They're still playing.
Yeah. The double deuces you can't.
Yeah, I mean he's got 18,000 yards, and that's the closest one I remember was the Daniel Thomas, and that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, quite a while back. It's been quite a while
it's
back.
crazy.
But yeah, my bad for not saying Emmitt Smith. But yeah,
no, you're right. But you went with your heart. That Errol Campbell was the man.
Yeah.
But then you look at Barry Sanders, and he didn't even have an offensive line.
No,
he earned his shit.
He juked everybody out of their shorts and everything else. Man, that was a bad boy.
Yes. But, what else? We have the most recognized logo.
That's number one. The number one selling gear
and most
NFL.
hated.
Yeah, it's true. We'll take that too. Most hated, most loved.
When you put blue and white on, you look good with blue and white.
The team is worth $10.1 billion.
Yeah. Let Steven and the other brother run it now. Jerry just
time for him to go, right?
Come on.
Is that another fact? Time for
it
Jerry
is.
to go.
It is time for him to go.
Just like it's our year this year, it's another fact. Jerry's got to go.
And of course, this one, we still America's team.
That's it, man.
But if the Chiefs win this year, it's going to change.
No, I mean,
y'all just have
Chiefs
Kingdom. Y'all just have Chiefs Kingdom. Y'all would never. Nobody will ever be America's team. It's just that one star. Star says it all.
America's team. I mean, there's the Raiders are the Raider Nation.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have a kingdom.
Chiefs Kingdom. Yeah, and you know the green the purple people eaters, the Minnesota Vikings.
What's the Bills Mafia?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's America's team. There's only one, and my daughter and my son and them, because they're a Chiefs fan.
Yeah,
we're the new America's team. Okay.
I mean, the freaking Patriots. If there was somebody to be, I mean, I Tom Brady. You know, how many rings? I don't know.
7.
Yeah, that's a shitload.
Yeah.
So but no, that shit's not happening.
No,
not at all.
No.
Yeah. So what was it that made you a Cowboys fan?
Well, when I started seeing them when I was just a kid, man, in black and white TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
you didn't even know what color they wore.
No. But I just know they had a star. That's it. That popped all the time, man.
And then when you finally saw that they were wearing silver and blue, you're like, whoa.
When my dad was able to afford a color TV, when they started coming out, I said, oh, that was their color. Yeah. But I've always been a Cowboy fan. I'm a true Tejano, man.
Yeah.
I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a Longhorn fan. I'm a Spurs fan. Those are my 3 favorite teams, man.
Okay.
And so you know what? The Astros. And the Astros are my favorite baseball team.
Not the Texas Rangers.
No. Well, I was at one time, but they were a strike away from winning the World Series.
Oh,
the St. Louis Cardinals. And then they choked, man. With needed one strike, and then they blew it, man. I thank the Lord that I was able to try out for the Astros in 1976. I got to play in the Astrodome, man.
Nice.
Oh.
So did the Bad News Bears.
And that's what I felt. I feel like Tanner, that little white boy at shortstop, man, just looking up. Wow, man.
Yeah.
392 ball players. They only drafted 2.
Damn, really?
Yeah, but just
you remember who they were?
No. But like I said,
I wouldn't want to remember either.
No, because I wasn't one of them. So I don't have to.
Were you invited?
Yes, I was invited through a high school friend and high school coach. Asked this friend of mine, who would you like taking? He said, I would take Herbie, man. So all right, so that's my invitation only, but I got to play in the Astrodome, man. That's just an honor.
Wow.
So that was in 1976, and in 1978 I got to try out for the Reds. They had John McNamara was the coach at Southwestern University in Georgetown.
Okay.
At the Astro tryout, I didn't hit the ball too good because they had a pitching machine with the 2 wheels on top. And, the pitcher, the coach goes like this, put the ball in there, and takes your timing off. But
I remember that in high school. Yeah,
at the Cincinnati Reds tryout, they had live pitching, and I hit the ball very well.
Yeah.
And then he calls me over to the sideline, and he says, he wants to ask me a few questions of, how long have I played organized ball? Have I ever had any college experience and stuff like that? And I said, no, sir. Then he could still question, are you married? And I was, and he says, and I told him, yes, I was being truthful. He says, good tryout. Cut me just like that.
Dang.
Because they want you to be married to baseball. They don't want you to carry no luggage. They want you to, hey, if you're going to play, you're just going to focus on baseball. Don't have to worry about your wife.
That's when you should have crossed your fingers and said, but I'm getting ready to get divorced.
right. And then 3 years later, I get a divorce, man. What the hell? But yeah,
but that's... God should have did it.
Man, wow, so that could have been a...
It could have. Yes,
wow.
It could have. That was... I'll never know, but when he asked that question and I said, no, I'm married and... Well, thank you. Good tryout. Cut.
That's wow.
Damn, why was I married, man? and I was a young buck, man. So I was like 19 years old. Yeah, when Crazy, man. So it could have, would have, should have, but hey, it is what it is.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next question is your all-time favorite player, Cowboys player.
Cowboy player? Bob Hayes. Bullet Bob Hayes, baby.
Yeah.
Number 22, wheels. I mean, Olympic gold medalist.
The original 22.
The original, brother. Yes, Bullet Bob Hayes, man.
That's cool.
Besides Roger Staubach, number 12, but Bullet Bob Hayes, man.
You said Olympic. What did he do?
He was an Olympic gold medalist in the 100 meter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think he ran in like 9.5, 9.4. I mean, talking about superhuman back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, so Bob Hayes, man, 22, bro. I know there's so many other big ones, man, that you can talk about, but that's the name that stuck out besides Roger Staubach, man.
Yeah. You ever met an ex-Cowboy or?
No, I sure haven't, man. That would be an honor to meet any Cowboy, man.
You know who I met was Quincy Carter. Remember when he quarterbacked there for a little bit?
Yes.
And I thought, it was good to see him, but he just didn't have his head on straight, and he ended up getting cut. But he got cut and ended up playing arena ball here in
is that right?
in Kansas City.
Wow.
What was the name of that team? The Brigade, I think it was. Kansas City Brigade. Maybe. And so we went to a game, and I talked to him. I talked to Quincy Carter, and it was crazy because we were sitting right by the tunnel, and they came, or they were in the back. It might have been halftime. I don't know what it was, but Neil Smith was running the team.
Oh, okay.
And and I was talking to a security guard, and then Neil Smith come through, and he says, "Is there a problem?" And I said, "No, there's no problem." I said, "But I'd like to talk to Quincy Carter if we could." And he's like, "Do you know him?" I said, "Yeah." I don't know. But I said, yeah. And he goes, "All right, I'll go get him for you." And no shit. Cool. Quincy Carter came out and we were talking.
That's pretty cool,
and
man.
But we were talking. I said, "Dude," man, you should still be playing with the Cowboys, man. Come on, Quincy. Yeah. I'm talking to him like I'm helping him out here. Right. And he was like, "Oh, I know, man. I know I messed up." I said, "Dude, put your head on straight." I said, "Now go win this game. You're quarterback for us here now. Go win this football game." Yeah, but that was crazy. I was talking to him like I was kidding.
Especially to tell Neil Smith you do it.
I know, right? Neil Smith was like, "All right, I'll go get him."
That's pretty cool, though. He wouldn't got him, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
cool.
He did that.
Yeah.
He probably thought, man, this guy's going to give him a ass chewing or what?
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. How do you prep for a football game? When you get ready to watch, do you have any?
Yes, I have my mug. I have my cowboy mug.
Yeah,
and it's not just a little one. It's a.
No, I swear, I feel like I'm talking to a Theo, Herbie.
That's okay, brother. But you know what? I'll be your Theo. Hey, but I have a big jug with the star on it.
Yeah.
I have where I sit at it, in my man cave.
Yeah.
I have my Dallas Cowboy rug right in front of me, so they know that's Herb's spot. But one person's going to sit there. That's either Herb or Grandpa, whichever one you want to say, man. Yeah. And then I put my gear on. I put my Dallas Cowboy stuff on.
Yeah.
I've wore it to the Nest or wherever I go.
Yeah.
Why you got that? How come you don't have the Chiefs stuff? Man, my team's playing too, man. Today.
I know, right?
Yeah. But I have my Cowboy gear on. I'm set, man, and I'll eat breakfast first and get my menudo, whatever I have to eat. And then right down before game time, I'm there, bro. Ready to go, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, but I got my little things I go through.
You ever been in Jerry's World?
No. My wife has, but I haven't. My wife took my grandson to go see the San Diego Chargers one year when they were playing when LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh yeah.
And that was my grandson's favorite player.
Okay.
So she took him there, and she said she was just going to drop my daughter and him off, and then my wife was going to go with my uncle to go shopping. Well, they call me, and all I hear is,
They're there at the game.
Said, "Where you at?" She goes, "Herb, I'm in the game." I said, "Yeah." I wanted to give my to express myself in a certain way, and I said, "You said you were going to go shopping." No, but she was in the game, man, and I was so upset, man, because I said, "Well, since you're going shopping, I'm going to go." So cool. She was going to go with uncle, but she ended up going to the game. Man.
Did the uncle?
Yeah, exactly.
Did the uncle go to the game or?
No, yeah, the uncle. Yes, they both went, man.
Yeah.
With my daughter and my grandson. Yeah. I says, "Wow, man, I missed out big time, man." I was but then again, I'm kind of glad I didn't go because San Diego ended up beating them. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I would have said, I want to go see him win. I don't want to go see him lose.
I know, right?
Yeah.
the Chiefs are going this year.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And see, and I cook on that day, man. They want me to go, but I says, prices, the tickets are a little pricey.
They are, man. They're real pricey.
And I don't want to go. I don't want to go in just the stand up. The stand up is $100 and something, man. I says,
we've done it before, and we had good. Actually, the 12 years ago when the Chiefs went to. Hell, it was. You know what? That was Patrick Mahomes' rookie season. He didn't even play in that game. It was still Alex Smith.
Right.
And yeah, we did the standing room only, and it was fun. You know.
Yeah.
But
It was fun, but yeah, you don't get to sit.
But yeah, you don't sit.
I mean,
but
that's why they have that big old.
but
I know.
but Herb, we won that game, so it was real fun for me.
Thank you. I'm glad you said it, not me. But true, I'm with you on that one. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Then,
There's a lot of smack talk going on already.
For that game, well,
Yes.
I actually already have a bet with the Ad Astra Boys podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were on live on Facebook, and I'm listening. And they start talking about the schedule, and I'm like, shit, I'm chiming in on this conversation and then we got to bet.
The quarterbacks.
Dak.
Dak said something, and Mahomes has already responded. So there's already some smack talking going on with them.
Might as well let it start a whole year ahead of time. 'Cause that's what it does. And then I already have. Oh yeah, we own y'all and this and that. I said, man, we haven't even played yet, man. I said, and I hope karma comes back to bite them in the butt, man.
It's gonna be a fun weekend, though.
Yeah,
and especially because of Thanksgiving, man.
Yes,
so.
yes. And seeing that my daughter wants us to go, and they want to get an Airbnb and stuff like that. But I says, I don't know. I like cooking that day, and then my grandsons, they're not going. So I said, I'd rather stay here with my grandsons and see it on my TV. It'd be nice to be there, you know. But I don't want to hear all this chirping, and I don't want to hear. I just want to enjoy.
You want to
it.
be in your own little
I
space.
hear you. Yeah.
And then besides,
That way, if we're down or we're losing, you just go to your room.
that's it. That's it. Don't pay attention to me. Just leave me alone. Stay upstairs and I'll go downstairs to my man cave.
There you go.
And then besides that, the day after, my Texas Longhorns played A&M on Friday.
Oh, really?
So I can't miss that game either, man. So
Dang, okay.
I'd rather just be at home watching the Cowboys and the Chiefs on Thanksgiving and cook. And then Friday, I don't have to worry about nothing but getting up and putting my burnt orange on like I have right there, and watching the Horns and the A&M, man. But yeah, that's going to be a good game. The Chiefs and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I hope we.
Yeah. How do you follow the Cowboys right now? Do you like social media or?
I have the Cowboy app. And I look at it all the time and check it out. And I really don't get into it because spring training and all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I just wait till it starts happening preseason and stuff like that, man. There you go. Yeah, look at it. Check him out.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So,
all right. Before we end. I know we've had you here for a while.
That's all right. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, well, let's go through our schedule real quick. All right, because we got a lot of prime time games, man.
Big
a lot
time.
of them. Yeah. First game versus Philly. It's the first game, so it's a Thursday.
Yes. And then the
Philly.
Chiefs play on that Saturday, but I think.
What do you think? We gonna win or lose? What do you think?
I'm going with the W, man.
Damn, that's one W. Let's go, Herb. All right, second game versus the Giants.
W.
He says W. Third game, week 3, at the Bears.
See that they got to go play, so I'm going with a W again. I'm gonna say 3-0 already. 3-0 to start.
All right. Then we game week 4 at home versus Green Bay.
Man,
remember Green Bay put an ass whooping on us.
Oh my God, yes. And then when they played them in the playoffs a couple of years ago, man. I said, man,
was that horrible?
At home, and then we had. Was it horrible, man? I was just so upset, bro. But I mean, I hate to say it. And at home too, they have the worst record at home against Green Bay. Against Green Bay, yeah. I got to go Green Bay. I'm sorry, lost, man. Hate to say it.
I'm gonna put.
I'd put 15-0, 17-0, but it's not happening. It's not happening.
Let's go. Week 5 at the Jets.
Win.
That should be a W, right? Yeah, me too. I pick a W. Then after that, it's at North Carolina.
W.
Then versus Washington at home.
Ooh, at home. I can't go against my boys, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't go against my boys, man.
Yeah, I've never liked Washington.
No,
Even though they have Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn took like 5 of our guys.
Yeah.
Which I think they're all back in Dallas now.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them that just said, all right, we had enough of Washington. We're going back to Dallas.
Yeah.
Jerry's like,
Come on, come back
Your
home.
locker's still there, so
Yeah, there you
because
go.
the guy that was in that locker didn't do shit. So yeah. Week 8 at Denver.
Ooh, Denver's got that.
That Nix
yeah.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
And he played well.
He wasn't too bad. I mean, he took.
I know the Chiefs are still mad because they put it. They
yes. I mean, bro, I'm going with the Cowboys again, man.
All right, we 7-1, Herb. We 7.
I'm praying.
Week 9 versus Arizona.
Oh, I hate Tyler Murray, man. Or what's it?
Yeah.
And he's a hot dog too, man. But I'm going with the W. I'm going with the W again, bro.
All right. Week 10, we got a bye. That's automatic. That's an automatic W right there. See, we both think.
Yes.
All right. Wow. Week 11 at the Raiders Monday night.
Ooh.
There's a good chance we could go to that game. I could go, but because you remember Bobby Delgado?
Yes.
So Bobby's got tickets.
Yeah, his dad came in not too long ago.
Oh, yeah?
We were at the Nest, man. I got to see Chikey and Bobby. I got to see Chikey and
so
Bobby.
Bob said, "Hey, I got tickets, Marty. Let's just get down here and we get some money in that game." But see, that's the thing though. That's the game 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Yeah, so that's gonna be tough, man.
See,
So.
I mean,
But
We'll still talk about it, Bob. We'll still talk about it.
But you know what, bro? Everybody that plays the Cowboys is like they're playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody that plays Dallas, man, it's like that's their Super Bowl because they want to beat Dallas so bad, man.
See,
I've always looked
Sandy's
at that.
hearing you say this, and this is the same shit I tell her all the time. So I'm glad someone else is saying it.
True Cowboy fans.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Cowboys again, bro.
Yeah,
9-1 now, 10-1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-1. We 10-1. We looking gritty right now. Yeah. Philly at home.
Oh.
You know what? I think we're gonna beat Philly.
Okay, come on.
I'm here because you know what? Philly beat the Cowboys last year twice, and Dak didn't even play in either one of those games.
Yeah, that's right. They had Bush. What was his name?
We had
Rush.
Yeah, Cooper
Rush.
Yeah, the Red Rocket.
Yeah.
All right, week 13, Thanksgiving Day.
I'm going with Cowboys, baby.
Whoa!
Excuse me, young lady. He asked me.
Here, look, Herb. I just do this. Okay, I look.
Yeah, turn me down.
Oh wait, shit, that wasn't it. that was mine. San?
Yeah, turn me down.
Damn
turn
it,
me
I don't know
off.
which
No.
one. I don't know.
See, you can't figure it
Ah, there it is. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No, Cowboys, baby. We're going Cowboys. Yeah. We're gonna come back home and I'm gonna have a blast at the Nest, man.
Well, I have my jersey out too that day with you.
All right, brother.
We'll be talking about it.
All right.
Then at the Lions,
ooh,
another Thursday night. That's crazy. We play Thursday night Thanksgiving and then another Thursday night.
Right. Not too long after that.
Right. Yeah. Week. Boom.
Wow,
back to back Thursday nights.
Well, then you'll feel what the Chiefs had to go through and playing back to back.
Yeah,
and they didn't have.
We've been there and done that.
And they didn't have all of the time. So what are you crying about? What are you crying about? What are you crying about? Back to back.
They're barely getting. I mean, they're excited. I'm sure they're excited to get this Thanksgiving game in, right?
Yeah. That's what
you know what? They're excited that they got to play Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You know what? Guess what? We are too.
Yeah.
But wait, the Chiefs are going somewhere. Aren't they traveling? Aren't they playing elsewhere?
Like Beirut or Iran or some shit. Getting bombed over there right now.
They're going to Brazil. They play in Brazil. Their first game of the season. They play in Brazil.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, Brazil on a Friday
night. Because wasn't it a few years ago that the fields were horrible and shitty?
I'm pretty sure they made because they have their soccer team is big over there in Brazil, so I'm pretty sure they got fixed up a field.
Yeah.
So they play in Brazil. The first game is on a Friday. The Chiefs' first game is on Friday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the day after the Cowboys play their first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man. And that Lions game's going to be tough.
Yes, I know, man.
It's always tough against them.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say L, not unless the
Okay, that's all right.
We pay the Cowboys. We pay the referees their money.
And then week 15 versus the Vikings.
Ooh, that's at Dallas or away?
That's in
Minnesota.
No, I'm sorry, it's at home.
I've got to go with the Cowboys. Something's going to happen this year, man. I really
do.
Something's going to happen this year. I really do think so. I really do.
You know what? Mario feels it every year.
So does her.
I've been feeling it too. You know, that's why I say my favorite words are wait till next year. But I'm going. I got to go with it. It's going to happen, bro.
Yeah, I kind of stopped saying wait till next year. I wait until the season's over, and then I say, "This is our year."
Yeah,
I don't say wait till
I
next.
think I'm gonna do what you're doing. I
this
think
is
I'm gonna wait till then.
Yeah. Yeah. Week 17 it's at home versus the Chargers. That might be a game you could go to, Herb, and get that redemption back. So you there, we get the W.
Yeah. Well,
then at Washington. Week 17.
We're gonna knock Washington out of the playoffs, man. We're gonna upset them.
That's what I'm talking
We're
about.
gonna hurt their feelings big
And then
time.
this is what's crazy. Week 18 versus the Giants, and they still haven't. It's to be
Scheduled
determined.
it?
Yeah,
Right.
So it's kind of weird. I don't know why it's not.
Because they want to wait and see that if they're gonna suck, then they're not gonna give them a prime time day.
Wait. Say it again. Can't hear nothing. Where's my crickets at? Where's my crickets? I don't have any crickets.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, here it is, right here. You're laughing at that.
Yeah. I'm cowboy all the way, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear you, brother. Me too.
So, like I said, it's just...
yeah, we have to get together sometime.
We do. We have to watch a game,
Watch a game together. Your place, my place, wherever.
Yes. I'd love for you to be my wife. You met her the other day.
Yeah.
If you be my wife, and like I said, we got a nice house, and I got my man cave. I got a big old room for my man cave, man. So got my cowboy, and a few cowboy signs up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to donate some of my stuff because I don't.
Hey,
I got a lot.
I got plenty of room for some Dallas stuff.
I got a lot of stuff that I put away, and since we haven't, but I heard. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Real quick, there's a couple gifts for you right there,
Wow.
from my compadre Luis Orpeza.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Yes, he told me.
Yeah, he said.
Thank you, but you know what? And thank you for inviting me, and it's been a pleasure, man. And we can converse anytime, man. It's always good to talk to you, see you, man. And you're Tejano like I am, and well, you're from Kansas City, but
it's
from
in my
Texas,
blood.
man. We put them out español. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we can converse back and forth, but you're a good man, and I appreciate you inviting me to your podcast, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I need to get on the talk so I can see it myself, man.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah. You did
Yes, and
subscribe
it's
and
pleasure meeting your wife and your son.
Nice
You got some
meeting you.
good-looking boys.
Thank
And your
you.
daughter. I met your daughter.
Oh, did you meet her? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember
They're at the
At the
ballpark.
park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But really, it's an honor for me to be here, brother, with you, and enjoy some, what life's all about, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
From back in the day to now. But like I said, it's people from Kansas City are great, and I really enjoy it, man. But
Thank you.
Mi gente right here, brother. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Mario.
Well,
Go ahead,
thank you for sharing your stories with
Thank you.
us
Thank
because
you.
that's what it's all about. Is
Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
We're not done yet, Herb.
Okay.
Oh,
Of course, it's Wednesday. My sister's calling. Oh. Do a little bit of editing here. But this was fun. Like I said, I wanted to get you in here. At one time, I thought about, I think I would bring you and Boosty at the same time. But I'm like, you know what? I think you got some stories. I know Boosty's got some stories. But yeah,
I think you did the right thing by holding us away from each other because when we start conversing, man, it's like a battle, man. Because it's just that he has a whole different frame of mind, man, and he's one of a kind dude, man. But like I said, it's my compadre. But to talk about competitive, that's one competitive person right there.
I'm sure.
Playing tennis, whatever.
Yeah.
Even if we were playing marbles, I know, for real. Because he took me on the tennis court one time. He says, "Oh, you can't play comp." I said, "Well, let's go." And I opened his eyes. I said, "Damn, all right, comp, you surprised me, man." I said, "Hey, don't judge a book by its cover, young man."
Right.
But yeah, life is good, brother. Like I said, but if you ever want to have me back on again with him one of these days, we'll do that. We'll do that.
But before we end, I need to announce this really quick. That Big Daddy's Fireworks is at it again. July 4th is on a Friday.
Yes.
So he will start selling, I believe Saturday, June 28th is when he opens up his stand. Mm-hmm. And his stand will be open right at 614 Reynolds at Strawberry Hill.
Same place from
same
last year?
place.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we will be shooting live July 2nd there at the fireworks stand. And he also wants to give away some more fireworks. Okay. The big prize that we gave away, Eastside won it last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he gave away this big box. It was the Godfather, what?
That was dumb that he won it.
It was a big box of fireworks.
Yeah.
And so Big Daddy's Fireworks, who is Joe Quinn.
I was going to just say that right now.
Joe Quinn, yeah.
Because last
Quinn
year
Concrete Construction, yes, sir.
Yes. Because he invited us over there, Tommy Fernandez, and they said, let's go see Joe Quinn at the fireworks, which is right there in Strawberry Hill. Right there by a nice little bar they go to. Yeah, but yes, Joe Quinn.
It's a 403 club.
Okay, yes,
right there,
yes.
So it's a pretty cool club. They got pinball machines. You can drink, have a good time there.
Yeah.
And even while you're shopping for fireworks, if you don't want to stand out there in the heat, go enjoy yourself a drink.
Yes.
You know, play some pinball.
Cool off a little bit.
Yeah, cool off a little bit. But we were there last year, and it was fun. We talked to him, his uncle, whoever come by. Let's talk a little bit about fireworks. And a storm was coming through. Remember that storm was brewing?
Yeah.
We had to hurry up and all right, call it quits because we had to load up because I didn't want my equipment to get wet.
Joe Quinn, and he got plenty of stories too, man.
Oh yeah,
oh my God, that guy's hilarious, man.
He's been on my show. Quinn
Good.
Concrete Construction. They helped us out a lot.
That's good.
Yeah,
man.
Joe Quinn's a good man.
And what you're doing, Mario, it's just it's great, brother. Like
Thank
you said, man, to be able to voice everybody's opinion and the questions you ask. Hey, that's like a part of life, man. Growing up, and I commend you, man. And
Thank you.
I wish you the best, brother, and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you. Oh, we got to end it like that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate you, man.
It's my pleasure, Kanat, for real, brother.
Yeah, thanks for being here again.
Yeah, yes.
We good, Chris?
Yep.
Sandy, you good?
We're good.
Chris, Sandy, pleasure meeting y'all.
Yeah.
Like I said, but,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Big Modcast. Until this was episode number 149. Episode 150 will be here next week, and hope you guys sit and watch. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do like, share, whatever you can do to help our podcast. We would truly appreciate it. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, adios.
Peace.